There's a new name for Toyota in Lanarkshire.
From one of the UK's biggest names in motor retail.
Macklin Motors Toyota is now open in Hamilton.
We're bringing you everything Toyota backed by first-class service.
So come and view the stunning new Toyota range, all with up to 10 years warranty.
Including the Aygo Cross and the new Yaris Cross compact SUV.
See our great choice of approved used Toyotas.
Our formidable range of commercial vehicles, including the Hilux.
Get expert servicing from our manufacturer-trained technicians.
And specialist advice from our Motability team.
Macklin Motors Toyota is open now.
At Whistlebury Road, Hamilton.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. New Toyota showrooms now open in Glasgow and Hamilton.
Let's go!
We might not have quite as many top pundits as Viaplay have got at the moment. There's about 40 of them on the pitch at the moment. Yep, it's the League Cup. The Viaplay Scottish Cup final is less than an hour away. This is Paul Cooney in the company in the away dressing room of the former Celtic legend Andy Walker and the former Rangers star Barry Ferguson is with us for the next, 3 or 4 hours. 4 hours we're going to be here. Who is going to lift the first silverware of 2023? Let's get the team news. No huge surprises, but I think both of them, Barry, one change I think from what you thought Rangers would line up today.
Yep, they're obviously in goals is Alan McGregor, a back four of Tavernier, Golston, Davis and Barisic, a midfield three of Kamara, Lundstrom and Tillman, and a front three of Sakala, Ryan Kent and Morelos through the middle. One surprise that I thought Raskin would have started, but Michael Beales went with Kamara. He obviously likes Kamara. I thought his performance at Livingston last week was very good alongside Raskin. So yep, Rangers are strong, and so are Celtic, to be honest, as well.
Thanks for joining us today, Barry. We are so looking forward to it. Andy Walker, normally you're on with Sky, but it's Viaplay today, so thanks for coming into the studio. Celtic, is there, the question of everyone wants to know, is it Aaron Moy who starts or is it Matt O'Reilly?
Yeah, I enjoyed that debate with Craig the other night, and actually he got it spot on. I think he maybe knows a wee bit more about Aaron Moy than I do, but it is Moy in that midfield alongside McGregor and Hatate. No surprise with the front three, Jota, Kyogo and Maida, and the usual back five with Hart in goal, Johnson, Carter Vickers, Starfelt and Taylor. And I'm just glad all the talking has stopped during the week. You just want to look forward to the action and see the game unfold now.
Look at the two benches. There are so much talent. Rangers, McLaughlin, Hadji, Jack, Cholak, Cantwell, Wright, Arfield, Raskin and Devine. And for Celtic, Bain, Haksabanovic, Abada, Turnbull, Kobayashi, Iwata, O'Reilly and Ralston. Barry, Andy, the talking's just about over. Everyone's looking forward to this game. Perfect day. What's it like? We're only 2 miles away from Hampden, and you saw them all. Did you get a few waves from some of the supporters on the way in?
I got a few growls and I got a few waves.
That's just to the family.
I felt it when I was coming in. It's exciting. Listen, Andy's right. The talking's there's been enough talking during the week. Now we're at the business stage, in an hour or so, ready to go for kick-off. I'm excited. Two really attack-minded teams, and obviously Celtic are the holders, and Rangers are the ones that want to go and try and take that trophy off Celtic. So I think there's going to be goals in it, Paul. I've said it all week. I'm excited. The pitch is looking in decent condition. We obviously seen the semi-finals. It was a bit of a disaster on the Saturday and the Sunday. So yeah, we're all set for a cracker, hopefully.
Rangers aiming to win this trophy for the first time in 12 years. They last won it in a 2-1 extra time win over Celtic. That was 2011. And Celtic, the defending champions, they've won the Viaplay Cup, the League Cup I think we'll call it, 5 of the last 6 seasons. It is a remarkable era for Celtic just now, Barry, isn't it? And for Michael Beale, his era could start today by winning.
Yeah, well, he's come in 3 months ago, Paul, and he certainly got off to a flyer in terms of the points that he's collected domestically. He's won a semi-final. He's got Rangers into the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup. Now he needs to go and try and win the first trophy and take it off Celtic today. He knows what's expected of him. I'm sure he's drummed it into the boys all week. And there's been a few players making a few comments. And now we want to see it happen on the pitch. As I said, Paul, I'm just looking forward to the game. I just enjoy the way Celtic go about their business. They're very attack minded. I like the way that Michael Beale is set up Rangers. There's obviously a few players that are playing on top of their game. Ryan Kent for one. I think the formation that Michael Beale plays suits him down to a T. So there's some big performances I'm expecting from Rangers players today.
Looking at the Celtic team, Andy, any worries for you?
No, not at all. It's a pretty settled middle three, front three, and I think that's where you could make changes. When you look at that bench, you highlighted it earlier, I really like Haksabanovic. I think he's got a lot to offer. Abada, he plays in this game so often and gets a goal or two. Turnbull, I think, is an exciting player. You don't know what to expect from the South Korean yet, but if he comes on, I think he's the type of guy that would flourish on this occasion. So I think Celtic are really strong. It was only a matter of would Jota play and Maida, or would Abada get a starting lineup? Would it be O'Reilly or Aaron Moy? And I think when you see it, Celtic are a pretty settled side, and I think it's quite important that there's a lot of winners in that team. They've been over this course before. They've played at Hampden before. They've had that pressure before, and they've delivered before. So I think that's why, when I was speaking to Celtic supporters during the week, they, normally a wee bit of trepidation with this game, but they were sounding quite confident.
What's going to happen this afternoon? Well, we're going to be watching it and bringing it to you. It's on the telly, it's on Viaplay. It's the Scottish League Cup final, the Viaplay Cup final. It was the Premier Sports this time last year, and it's Celtic, the defending title holders, against Rangers, and we gave you the team lineups really, really strong. Let's hear from the two captains. Here is James Tavernier talking about the Rangers' momentum they have. Is that 14 games under Michael Beale, and they've only drawn one.
Since the gaffers came in, we've had one draw and won the rest of the games. The momentum's really been there with the results that we wanted, and we know that performance-wise, there's been games where we felt that we could improve, which is a good thing, because we're winning games and still not being the top level that we need to be. So we know there's still room for improvement, and we'll continue to work hard every single day on the training pitch to make sure we show that on a match day, and hopefully that all comes into place on Sunday.
He'll be determined to get a League Cup medal, Barry. He's taken a lot of criticism, and then he led Rangers to the title 2 years ago, and then Scottish Cup, and Hampden has been good for Rangers in recent years.
Yeah, but he knows the pressure he's under. Listen, I've said before, he has come in under a bit of criticism at times, but I think he's been an excellent signing for Rangers. £300,000 back in 2015. I like the fact 18 or so months ago, when he was getting criticism, he always stood at the front for me. He always made himself available. And his numbers from the right back position, Paul, I know quite a few of them have been penalties, but Andy will tell you, still got to stand up there and handle the pressure of putting it in the back of the net. So I think overall he's been an excellent Rangers player. I think he's grew into the captaincy as well to become a leader at Rangers. But he knows, being at Rangers, it's all about winning trophies. And he's only won a couple of trophies. Well, he's won the league and the Scottish Cup, and he'll be desperate to add the League Cup to that.
He wants to add that medal to the collection to complete the set.
I personally haven't been, obviously, completing all three trophies. It's something that I want to do, and we've got a great opportunity to do that the weekend.
Andy, what do you make of James Tavernier and the qualities he brings to Rangers?
Just as Barry said, absolutely brilliant signing. Value for money, which everyone's looking for value for money to get him for that type of fee, and to get that return, to get that commitment. I think he's been sensible this week. He's just spoken like a captain, and he hasn't said anything daft that could be thrown back at him. And that might be the case this afternoon. If Celtic were to win this, everybody will go on about Sakala and Rangers are a better team, and the other mob and all that nonsense. So
will that bother the players?
I don't think it will bother the players, but if Celtic were to win, someone will bring it up. And there's just no need for that type of chat beforehand. There's so many other things to be positive about with regards to your team.
Cameron Carter-Vickers was asked about the comment.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I got no problem with it. I think every professional sportsman has to have some kind of level of self-belief to get to where they are. So for me, it's just it's a normal comment for a professional sportsman to make. It
feels a wee bit though manufactured for the media, and he's maybe a bit naive as well. We love the line, don't we? But
listen, I would have loved to have seen maybe a few more Celtic players out in the media this week. I think they've been very quiet, but maybe they're just got their heads down, they're concentrating, and you just want to see a good game. And like Barry, I'm looking at the pitch, I'm hoping that I'm hoping it's well watered. I think players like that. They like a fast, slick surface, and there's so many good players on both sides that it should be a really great game.
We've just seen Brian Laudrup there being interviewed by Emma. What a player he was, Barry. We see a few great players that are on. John Hartson is there as well, Ali McCoist. But Brian Laudrup, one of the best ever Rangers players.
Yeah, I was only a young apprentice coming through when Brian Laudrup was there, and some of the things he used to do in the training ground, Paul, after we'd finished with the youth team, we were allowed to go across and watch guys like Laudrup and Gascoigne, and some of the things he could do with a football was magical. Very quiet, went about his business. Yeah, but one thing I always remember when we were young, he would always give you a minute or two and ask how things were going on and how you got on in games with the youth team. So that's always something that stuck with me. But he was a fantastic player for Rangers.
I was always up against the likes of Gough and Butcher, and you know, I had so much admiration for players like that because they're your immediate opponent. But I would say he was probably the most exciting Rangers player that I ever came across. Obviously you had goal scorers like Hateley and McCoist, but for entertainment, for skill, for ability, for getting fans on the edge of their seat, I think Laudrup would probably top the bill.
It's going to be some afternoon. Rangers against Celtic. Rangers drawn as the home team up against Celtic, and 25,000 each supporters. I know, Barry,
you can't beat it. I think that's what it's all about. I'm lucky enough to play in cup finals against Celtic, and when it's split right down the middle, it makes it a special atmosphere, Paul. Listen, I know it's not split down the middle when it's league games. I just hope at some stage we get back to giving, what was it, 7,000 or 8,000 tickets to the away support. I can't see it happening. I don't know what Andy thinks, but today's atmosphere, split down the middle.
It's also a good sell, Barry. I mean, people all over the world. I've got family and friends in New York that are watching this, and they'll bring along some of their friends who've never seen it before. So you're selling Scottish football, you're selling the showpiece occasion, a cup final, the two best teams in the country. And when you see that shot from high above and you see the stadium, one is green, the other is blue, I think it's a great sell for Scottish football. And as Barry says, it's just a pity we don't have it in league games.
It's great for a player because if you say, I used to take the free kicks or corner kicks, you would go over to your own fans and they would be cheering you or trying to get you up for it. And if you were hitting towards the Celtic end and you went for a corner, you get absolute dog's abuse. But that's what made it special. And listen, the players that are playing today, when they go out to do the warm up at 2:20, it's about 3/4 full, but when they walk out at 2:55, the atmosphere will be absolute electric.
Top notch. 3 o'clock kickoff here. So is that 10 a.m. in the Big Apple?
10 a.m.
Andy?
in the Big Smoke.
What's the breakfast? Is it the pancakes and all the rest?
Pancakes and always eggs. And I think you might get a bit of alcohol even before midday.
Can't beat New York, but
that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
New York, what a place.
And I must say a happy birthday to my daughter Stephanie.
Please do.
She is 33 today. So
Never.
Happy birthday, Steph.
Congratulations, Steph. 33 years old. Yep. She'll be looking forward to it today. She
reminded me this morning that the day she was born, we played the Rangers the day before and beat them 1-0. So it was like a good it was like a good omen. And it was also a cup game.
It was a cup game. Barry Ferguson, Andy Walker, and up next we're going to speak. We'll hear from the Celtic captain, Callum McGregor.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Brand new Toyota showroom in Kennishead Road, Darnley.
Let's go! Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. It's the cup final special. Rangers against Celtic. There was some trouble earlier today. Young hooligans, youngsters, and it was breakfast time this morning. I see the police had to get involved. Let's hope for no trouble at the ground and they behaved, but it was really, really young ones, really silly, but frightening for people who would be around early this morning. Let's hope there's no trouble on or off the pitch this afternoon, because we've got two top teams here. Celtic defending the cup that they won over a year ago, defeating Hibs, up against Rangers, who are looking for their first trophy under Michael Beale, and for Celtic, hungry for more under Ange Postecoglou, who did the double last year. Let's hear the man who led them to the double last year, Callum McGregor. How does he stay composed on cup final time?
I think it's just about trying to stay calm and stay focused on the game plan that we obviously try and bring to the game. Of course, there'll always be moments within any game that don't go your way, and it's just important to react in the right way. say someone gives the ball away, it's important that our first reaction is to try and win it back. Good shape behind the ball. So, there's always going to be moments that go against you. Obviously, we go down 2-1 in the last game, but we managed to find a way back into the game. So it's just sticking to your principles and what gets you success.
That's the thing, they don't panic, do they, Andy, when they were behind?
No, and I think he speaks really well, Callum. I think he's taken over that mantle from Scott Brown and he's handled it. He's a totally different character, but just the way he inspires teammates around him, the way he leads. And I wowould say it about Tavernier as well. Whenever they speak to us at Sky, they're just they're always confident, they're always warm and welcoming, and I think good examples for their team.
Bit more from the captain.
I think you need a lot of different things. Obviously, cup finals, you have to play well. You need a little bit of luck as well. But I think the main thing for us is just to stay focused and continue to do what we've been doing. The team's in good rhythm and good form. So, if we bring that to the game, along with our other qualities and concentration, stay calm, then I think we'll be okay.
He does stay calm, doesn't he, Barry? He's a top captain. He could be one of the greats for Celtic.
Yeah, he's a driving force for the Celtic team, no doubt about it. I think he's been up a level or two over the last year or so since taking over the captaincy. He's always been a good player, Callum, but I think he's a quality operator. He can calm the game down. Real good passing range, good energy about him. Look, he's a midfielder that's got all the attributes, and he's one player that Rangers will need to stop from dictating the play today. But he's turned out to be a fantastic Celtic player.
So Celtic undefeated domestically since Real Madrid in September. That was the last time they lost here in this country. Domestically they haven't lost since what is that, right? St Mirren game, wasn't it?
St Mirren was the one where they were bullied a wee bit. St Mirren deserved their victory that day, but I think the response has been tremendous because they've won every game bar that game at Ibrox where they drew. But you've got to say, since coming in, Michael Beale has done the same. He can't do much more than win every game, and obviously the draw against Celtic would have been a bit of a disappointment because it was a home game and you were 2-1 up with a few minutes to go. But he certainly improved them, and that's why Celtic need to be wary of the threat they carry.
Here's Ange Postecoglou.
Consistency in performances. We've had to overcome challenges. It's not like it's been smooth the whole way. We've had different challenges along the way, and the players have always found a way to overcome those whatever challenges before us. There's been some games we've dominated on in terms of the scoreboard, but other games have been a little bit tighter, but we've still found a way to get the job done. And as I said, the level of performance from the whole squad, and I think that's probably been the most pleasing thing. We've had a real sort of even contribution. We've had some guys who've had outstanding years, but it's not like we've got to this space on the back of one or two. I think just about everyone in our squad has contributed and contributed meaningfully, where for a sequence of weeks one player has really been, or a couple of players have been really strong, and then two others sort of come to the fore. And I think that's been really important for us because over the course of the season, not everyone's going to be able to perform at their absolute optimum all the time. And when that doesn't happen, if you've got other guys who step up, I think that gets you the consistency we've had.
Barry, we said it is a really strong bench, both of them, probably particularly Celtic. Are the days have been really disappointed of being you're not dropped anymore because they make changes with 5 subs?
As a player, you'd always want to play, Paul.
You'd be gutted.
Yeah, but
Barry, we're just rotating you this weekend. I mean, that would not go down well.
No, it's not for me. You want to play, but listen, the strength of Celtic, there's real competition for places here, and Rangers are starting to get there now. What we've said is it before the transfer window, that was the strength that Celtic had. If things weren't going to plan during the game, he could go and make that triple change that he normally makes, and then he can make another couple of changes after that. Now Rangers are starting to get there with Cantwell and Raskin now, who could have easily have played in that starting 11 today.
Why didn't he play Raskin, do you think?
I'm surprised. I just from what I've seen, he's a guy that demands the ball all the time. He's a player that I think Rangers have been needing since obviously Stephen Davis had his serious knee injury, and they're looking for somebody to really replace him. He's a real ball player that goes and takes it off the centre backs or the full back. So I thought he would have started Raskin today, but it looks at he's always liked Kamara, Michael Beale, no doubt about it. And Glenn Kamara for me is a very good player, but with the starting 11, I thought he would have went with Raskin in there beside Lundstrom.
He obviously trusts Glenn Kamara, Andy,
Yeah.
but he's not been as regular as he was a couple of years ago. Were you surprised about Raskin?
Yeah, I thought bringing him in the January window, one of your main targets, and he got him, and I think the Rangers fans were excited about him because he was also speaking about him very highly. And when he played, I haven't seen as much of him as maybe Barry has, but I thought he would definitely have started this game. But in Kamara, if he's at his best form, I think I can remember a game at Celtic Park a few years ago. We did it, and I had Kamara as my man of the match. I thought he was outstanding. So it is a game where he can perform under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, in terms of the two holding midfielders that Michael Beale generally goes with, he's obviously went with Kamara and Lundstrom, but see if it was Raskin and Jack, mate, I would have been comfy any two out of that four. And that's the reason why he's obviously built a strong squad. There's competition for places in there, but Raskin for me is he's a very good football player. You can see why there was a number of clubs interested in him, because he can play the game. He's at a great age as well. He's only just turned 22. So yep, a bit surprised that he's not played, but he's went with Kamara in beside Lundstrom, and I'm very comfortable with that.
Rangers start McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Davies and Barisic, Kamara and Lundstrom, as we just mentioned, Tillman, Fashion Sakala, Kent and Morelos. Andy, Malik Tillman, what do you feel about him? I think you thought he would play.
Yeah.
He's become a real favourite with the Rangers fans. He's settling in now.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I'll go back to the goal that he scored at Fir Park when he picked it up almost in the opposition half, and before you know it, he'd scored a goal. But I take it his best position, Barry, is that number 10.
Mm-hmm.
If Rangers are playing with Kamara and Lundstrom, Sakala wide right and Kent wide left, but Tillman in that 10 position.
Yep.
Is that his best position?
Yeah, that is definitely his best position. One thing about him, Andy, is, as you said, he's scored that great goal at Fir Park. He's done it on a couple of occasions, but one thing, he's doing the dirty side of the game now, where when he lost the ball in the final third, he wouldn't track back. Michael Beale's obviously drove that into him, but for me, his best position is that area in between the holding two and obviously the centre forward, where he can go and float in areas and pick up the ball and on the half turn. But for me, at 20 years of age, and they're talking 4 or 5 million euros, I think Rangers have got to sign him, because I think if he produces the same performances he has over the last couple of months, and Rangers have got that model similar to what Celtic have got, he's a player you could go and double, treble your money easily on.
Yeah.
Could be a steal. You're hearing Andy Walker with Barry Ferguson. Celtic lineup: Joe Hart, Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Carl Starfelt, Greg Taylor, Callum McGregor, we're speaking about, the captain, Aaron Moy, preferred to Matt O'Reilly, Rio Hatate, Jota, Maeda and Kyogo. On the bench, Bain, Haksabanovic, Abada, Turnbull, Kobayashi, Iwata, O'Reilly and Ralston. And the Rangers bench: McLaughlin, Hadji, Jack, Cholak, Cantwell, Wright, Arfield, Raskin and Devine. There's so many goals, aren't there, and so many attacking options for both of them there on the bench.
I think when you look at Celtic and you look at the starting 11, you look at that spine right down the team, where I think you've got a lot of leaders. Joe Hart has been an upgrade on Barkas, who cost 5 million. Joe Hart's been an upgrade for sure. Carter Vickers has been outstanding. He's a leader in defence. He could easily be the captain of Celtic. McGregor in front of him, who's been a great leader. And then Kyogo, the main goal scorer, the undisputed number one striker now that Giakoumakis has gone. I really liked him, but Kyogo is the one who top scorer, and he scored in the couple of goals against Hibs in the League Cup final not so long ago.
He did indeed. He turned it round for Celtic. Barry, it's an awesome looking lineup for Celtic and for Rangers. There's no excuses from either team, though, is it? They've had a week off. Do you know what I mean? Normally there's maybe you're just back from some European battle. There's none of that this time.
Yep, they've had a full week to prepare for it, so that there's no excuses. And I think if you want to build a strong 11, the spine of the team's always the most important for me. Andy's right, Joe Hart, and quite a few Celtic supporters don't fancy Joe still, which
it's with the ball at his feet that is maybe a bit of a debate about it. You remember at Ibrox when Celtic were winning 1-0 in the last game, the 2 each game, and it was his sort of taking an extra touch, being a wee bit hesitant, And it almost brought Rangers into the game. The whole stadium got a lift, and Rangers had a good spell of pressure. So maybe 1 or 2 wee kick-outs where he's not been good.
It's never been Joe's strength. I think if you think back to Man City, that's one of the reasons why Pep Guardiola didn't fancy him. But for me, listen, he's a top goalkeeper. And I said that before Celtic signed him, Paul. I played with him at Birmingham, and one thing about him in the dressing room, massive character. Massive character. Carter Vickers, listen, he could easily be Celtic's best player this season. I know a lot of people going about Callum McGregor, Hatate, Kyogo, but Carter Vickers,
I think he was the reason Celtic got
four.
a point at Ibrox. He had a block on
Tillman
late on when it was still 2-1, and just the way he played in the whole game, there was a couple of physical challenges where he just would not let go, determined to win the ball. I think he's a great leader.
So does Celtic have to do better this time, Andy? I'm just, we'll look at Rangers in a minute, but
I think Celtic started that game at Ibrox really well. I think they were controlling most of the ball, controlling possession. They got their noses in front with the opening goal, and I think the breakthrough goal today will be hugely important. But you've got to credit Rangers. They come back, they got the equaliser, they went on and got themselves in front. But again, Celtic never say die attitude, and this is what happens with Celtic. They were behind, they make a lot of changes. You're pretty much bringing on 5 international players, and they managed to get that late goal through Kyogo. So I think when you look at Celtic, no matter what way the game is going, with Haksabanovic, Abada, Turnbull, O up front, and O'Reilly, I mean, it's a really strong bench to give you a lift.
Think back in that game, the 2nd of January at Ibrox, Rangers for me were clearly the better team in the second half, and the thing that I noticed with Celtic is they stuck to their principles. There was no panic, they kept playing the same way, and obviously they got that equaliser in the last couple of minutes, and that's a sign of a good team, let's be honest. When you're not on your A game, you manage to get a point from somewhere, and that's what Celtic done today. But the battle that I'm looking at is a midfield battle. The 3 for Celtic, obviously McGregor, Moy, Hatate have been over the last couple of months been excellent for Celtic, and obviously Kamara, Lundstram and Tillman. I'm excited to see that battle.
You're going for Rangers to win, Andy. You're going for Celtic. No surprise there. This is so hard to call, this game. Fascinating, really looking forward to it. I want to find out exactly where you were yesterday. I know where Barry was, but you were both down the leagues a little bit in your case, Barry, and quite a way in your case, and also the other results in the Premiership. But it's all building up to kick-off. How long to go? 25 minutes. And we're going to tell people who said, when we looked from a distance at who's on Viaplay, and somebody in here said, who's that on the left? And I'm like, are you kidding? At that point I should have said I knew it was Brian Laudrup.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Book your service, MOT or repair online today at macklinmotors.co.uk.
Let's go! It's the League Cup final day. Viaplay Cup final with Barry Ferguson, Paul Cooney and Andy Walker. We're just chatting about Brian Laudrup, and it led us on to Henrik Larsson as well, and what a player he was, just choosing 2 of the players of the past. Andy, how good? One of the best ever?
One of the best ever for sure, because he played against a Rangers team that was one of the best teams ever, and he just the amount of goals that he scored, and he obviously carries it in his golf. I remember being at a charity golf day up at Cathkin, and Henrik was playing in the group in front of me, the 4-ball in front of me, and at the 16th at Cathkin he got a hole in one. And you could just hear there was obviously a lot of people following him around every hole, and it was like watching someone in the Ryder Cup, the way that they followed him around that course.
Cathkin Brace, was it?
Cathkin Brace.
Second time it's been mentioned here. They were talking about it in Hunter and Hockey this morning. Barry, did you ever go out, not out socially, but were you ever together with Henrik Larsson?
No, you bumped into him a couple of times. Just very quiet, went about his business, but he was a top player. But leading up to the Old Firm game, the games, we used to earmark, you had to keep him quiet. We had to. We had Craig Moore at the time and Amoruso, and they used to put one on him quite a few times. But the thing that jumped out at me was he never reacted. He never seemed to get frustrated with it. He would just jump up and go on with it, and it actually used to frustrate you. Used to get under your skin. But he was a top player. His movement was unbelievable. And he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the biggest built, but he could handle himself. That's one thing. But yeah, fantastic player. We knew if we could stop Larsson, we had a real chance of winning the game.
They were great games to cover at that time, because obviously Barry played in a team where you had Ronald de Boer, Frank de Boer,
Arthur
you
Newman.
Mentioned there's Arthur Newman, another one you'd mentioned, Amoruso, and absolute quality those games. I remember you must have played in the 3-3 game at Parkhead. And then there was one that the 6-2 game was the first one of the season. Then a few months later it was 5-1.
Forget about that game.
But then you
5-1 Rangers,
and
a few
then
weeks
5-1 Rangers the next time it came round. So it was quality football.
Bad refereeing that day. That 6-2 game. I get sent off.
We haven't mentioned VAR yet. Let's not just yet. Quite a few people are on the socials at Go Football Show with predictions. Here is 3-1 Rangers. Someone is saying that's R9YSO. 3-2 Rangers, says David at 1979. 5-2 Celtic. The Mora pal, he's been on. And 3-3 penalty kicks Rangers. So someone there is on KJH. So
do you think they've been practicing penalties this week? Both teams?
It's something we never done.
Did you not?
See, Leeds going into cup finals, never practice penalties.
But you were a penalty taker. Would you not practice them anyway?
Yeah, I would go away myself with the goalkeeper at the end of a training session. But leading up, we never kind of had that thought process, right, it's going to get into penalties. We were confident enough we could go into the final and win the game. But yep, I used to practice penalties until I missed a double up at Dens Park.
That's right. Yeah. 2 in the one game. Yep. Would you practice, Andy?
I practiced penalties. I think I mentioned before. I remember looking back on it. I took 41 penalties in my career. I mean, I missed 10. I think that's maybe too many. But then somebody said, "Well, you scored 31." But even when I missed, I always wanted to get back on it. It never really put me off. It was just. And the other thing is, I felt it was always part of my job. Like, you can't. A guy, a right back, a left back, taking penalties. I'm not having that. I'm used to being in the box. I'm used to passing it into the corner, putting it into the corner with a bit of pace. And I just felt it was part of my job. And I hate seeing a shootout and you see strikers, nah, I'm not taking one. Can't be right.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was, listen, for me, it should have been midfielders or centre forwards. It kind of, when you see a defender, and I'm not having a pop at defenders, but going up to take penalties, I find it a bit strange. But that game that I missed the 2 penalties, we actually got a third penalty that day, and I remember the guys turning round at me and having a look at me, and I'm like, there's no way I can take, but I was the captain at the time, there's no way I can take this penalty. And the only one that stood up was Mikel Arteta, and thankfully he scored that and we got a point for that day. And I remember going down in the bus because we were going for the league. It was nip and tuck with Celtic, and if we'd lost that, we'd have probably lost the league. And then obviously it would have been my fault for missing a double. And then I never took the penalties after that because they had a real good record with penalties. And then the next penalty was about 5 years later.
Wow. Did you take them down south with any of your teams?
No. Then with Rangers, the last penalty was the semi-final against Fiorentina. Of course. Over there. Yep. I went up. I remember Walter and Coisty and Kenny McDowell coming on, right, who's the first? So I've got to stand up as captain. I'll take the first one. I go up and I missed that one. And I remember turning around and
what did you do with it? Did he save it or did you?
It was an unbelievable save for the goalkeeper. And I remember turning round and looking, and the boys' heads just dropped, and I'm thinking to myself,
"Oh, you again."
And thankfully we get through into the final. But that was me. Never took a penalty again in my life.
17 minutes away from kick-off at Hampden. Here's Michael Beale speaking about what it would mean to him winning the cup.
Of course it does, because it's very much a us or them, or Rangers or Celtic. You know, it's very much that, and second is last. I get that in the league. I've come in and I said in my very first interview I didn't think it was as broken as everyone said. Hopefully now 14 games along, we're on the mend and people are starting to see that. This weekend's performance and game is about winning. If we win, we've still got a lot of work to do moving forward, in my opinion. And if we lose, that same amount of work's going to be there on my in tray on Monday morning. I think it's not focusing on being too emotional or dramatic about what the bigger picture looks like. Let's just focus on this 90 or 120 minutes or penalties, whatever it takes at the weekend. Take part in a fantastic game, do ourselves justice, and then come Monday, my job doesn't really change. I think I still have a big job, and that's a job that I was running back to this city to take part in. So I've got to be the most excited and optimistic about seeing it through.
Michael Beale, will he be lifting the trophy today, or is it going to be Ange Postecoglou? We just see on the telly there, Barry and Andy, we can see Alfredo Morelos. Is it going to be his day? Is it 2 goals in 20 games against Celtic? It's not a great record.
I seen that yesterday, and it's not the best of records. But listen, I've always maintained when Morelos is on his game, he's the best number 9 at Ibrox. There's no doubt about it. And I go back to a game a couple of weeks ago at Tynecastle. I don't know if Sky done that game. Did you not do that game?
No.
He was excellent.
That was a 3-0 game.
Yep. Rangers were excellent on the night, but he was a real focal point. And when his mind's on it and he's focused, he's a real handful, Morelos.
Do Rangers need that performance from him today, and that kind of performance to beat Celtic?
Yeah, when I look at Celtic, I think the one that he's got to earmark is Starfelt, going Starfelt, and because Carter Vickers likes that side of the game, he likes the physical side. Starfelt, listen, he's come in for a bit of criticism, but Starfelt and Carter Vickers' relationship has been really strong if you look at it over the piece. But if you're looking at Celtic in one area where you think you can exploit, it would probably be that kind of left side of the Celtic defence.
I think he's come on to a game. I think you're right. Maybe Rangers will target him. I was speaking to your pal Craig Moore the other night, and he was maybe a bit suspect about Ben Davis, wasn't he?
Yep.
So I think you need a big performance in a cup final, and that partnership in the heart of the defence for both sides has got to be strong.
Is it the fact as well that Starfelt is right-footed and he plays in the left?
Yeah,
it makes him look awkward.
Yeah, obviously you ideally you would want a bit of balance, left-footed and right-footed, but I think they've grown into a partnership, and the fact that Jens is away now, you look at Celtic on the bench, they've got Ralston as a defender. Who else have they got? Iwata.
Yep.
But I think right now you look at Carter Vickers and Starfelt, they're definitely your preferred partnership.
Quick break, and then the talking stops. We're ready for the cup final. That's coming next.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Find your nearest dealership at macklinmotors.co.uk.
Let's go! There's a new name for Toyota in Lanarkshire.
From one of the UK's biggest names in motor retail.
Macklin Motors Toyota is now open in Hamilton.
We're bringing you everything Toyota, backed by first-class service.
So come and view the stunning new Toyota range, all with up to 10 years warranty.
Including the Igo Cross and the new Yaris Cross compact SUV.
See our great choice of approved used Toyotas.
Our formidable range of commercial vehicles, including the Hilux.
Get expert servicing from our manufacturer-trained technicians.
And specialist advice from our Motability team.
Macklin Motors Toyota is open now
at Whistlebury Road, Hamilton.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Brand new Toyota showroom now open on Whistlebury Road, Hamilton. Let's go!
It's a perfect afternoon for a Scottish League Cup final. The Viaplay final is only about 12 minutes away, and we're really looking forward to it. We're in the company of Andy Walker and Barry Ferguson. We did the bit the other day, didn't we, about how many medals in the League Cup do you have? But you got loads of medals, Andy. League Cup was maybe not your favourite tournament.
No, and one of the biggest disappointments I played in that game where we played Wraith Rovers, get beaten penalties. We actually had practiced penalties, but
that was at Ibrox.
It was at Ibrox, but of all the players to miss a vital one for Celtic, it had to be Paul McStay, and honestly I would have taken the miss rather than him.
For a Celtic legend. I see the legend Sir Rod Stewart arriving there in a very natty coat. Looked a bit like Kyle's yesterday at the football at New Douglas Park. Barry, we were there, the Accies against Queen's Park, but my goodness, Queen's were really impressive.
Yeah, they were by far the better team, no doubt about it. Owen Coyle has got a good team there with a lot of good players, no doubt about it. Look, Accies have had a few good results over the last couple of weeks, no doubt about it, but there was one clear winner yesterday, and that was Queen's Park. Pretty comfortable 4-1. And as I said at the start of the season, I really fancy Queen's Park to. I know the league's really tight, but I still fancy them to get that promotion into the Premier League. And what a journey it's been for Queen's Park over the last 3 or 4 years.
Back-to-back promotions if they do it this year, eh?
Absolutely, be
fantastic,
unprecedented. And Andy, you were at Newlandsfield.
I was at Pollock. I've seen the mighty Pollock. They were playing Cumlock. It was a right good game. Pollock won 3-0, 3 second half goals, and really enjoyed it. It was a beautiful day.
Young Joe was there as well, so everyone out and about yesterday. In the Premiership, Aberdeen, a good win for them against Livingston, and it was Majowski back scoring 1-0. Kilmarnock against Motherwell, it was 1-0 until the last minute, and then Callum Slattery, so 1-1 there. Ross County 4, Dundee United 0. Not looking good for United at all. And St Johnstone, St Mirren ended up 1-1. We'll maybe talk about that later in the programme, or certainly tomorrow night with Mark Guidi, who'll be here with Barry Ferguson. Did you spot somebody in the crowd there on the telly?
Well, they panned at the Celtic end, and I'm sure it was Jim McInally just in with the former Peterhead manager. I was up in Peterhead recently, but he had 10, 11 years up there.
He did, longest serving in the Blue Toon. Andy Walker was there. And did you spot someone else there, Barry, a moment or two ago? Stevie Clark, the Scotland manager, there at the game today. This must be the moment when you're just ready to get started, aren't you? The teams will be going back up the tunnel.
You just want to get as a player, you want to get the warm-up done as quickly as possible, Paul, and get into that dressing room and get out in that field they play. This is what really matters now. All the talking's finished. The guys have done all their media duties. The managers have done it. Now it's down to the business part of it.
So what was your routine with the players then? Rangers captain going, you've got 5 League Cup medals. Take us back to 10 minutes beforehand. What's it like in the dressing room?
Well, all players are different. I used to always have an eye on the players. You could see some were nervous or some were totally fine. It was my job to get around the ones that were a bit nervous and put an arm round about them and just make sure they were okay for the situation. Yeah. That was it. And I wasn't a ranter or a raver. You just had to let them know how important it was, and to try and get a foothold in the game as early as possible, Paul. It's all cliche. Make sure your first pass is to a teammate. Make sure you win your first tackle, first header. But it's all about how you start the game, and you want to start the game in the front foot, and that's basically what we had to do. It's
interesting, a different approach now. I mean, most of the games I played in against Rangers, you come out the tunnel, you do your warm up, you kick off. Now you go through this routine of a handshake before the game. I think the handshake before a game means absolutely nothing. The handshake after a game, when you've been at it for 90 minutes, it means so much more, and you've got a bit of respect for your opponent, win, lose or draw. But
that's a good. But why do they do it?
Don't know.
Maybe for the telly. Down south, one of the London derbies is on, and it's Tottenham who are 1-up on Chelsea, and it was 1-0. Was it Oliver Skippy? They're calling him. So I think that's his first goal. Not a bad one though in a derby. But it's the Glasgow derby, the Old Firm derby. Call it what you like, that we're looking for today. The keepers, we spoke about Joe Hart earlier. Andy, what do you think of Alan McGregor in the Rangers goal?
I just think he's top class, but we talked about it the other night. I think Rangers need to identify another keeper for next season. I don't think you can go with John McLaughlin as your undisputed number one. I don't know whether Alan McGregor fancies another year or not. If he does, I still think you need a better backup.
But for today, you'd be happy with Alan McGregor.
He's the one who's done it, and I think he's got a better relationship, a better understanding with the likes of Goldson and Davis.
He's got that never say die. He's got a determination to win it. 40 years.
He was like as a young kid coming through. He's 3 years younger, and he played in the same youth team as me at 14 and 15, and he was like that. That's no a show. Even in training, he hated losing. But I love characters like that. But in terms of the goalkeeper situation, if Rangers are maybe struggling to identify a number one, I'd be sitting Alan McGregor down and saying, look, what's your thoughts? And if he's thinking about staying on and playing another year, we'll get him to sign another contract, and then that takes a problem away for next season.
Looking down the Celtic, we haven't talked about Kyogo, we haven't talked about Jota or Maeda. Andy, and then there's the bench as well. Whose day is it going to be today? So for those who haven't heard, what do you think is going to happen this afternoon?
Well, Jota at the start of the season, when you look back to that 4-0 game at Parkhead, he was outstanding. His first touch for his goal, his little dink over McGregor, or was it McLaughlin at that day? I think it might have been McLaughlin. In any event, it was a brilliant goal, a terrific finish, and I think that's why Ange Postecoglou has gone to him. He's got players that he can change it with, Haksabanovic and Abada. They've got form in this game, especially Abada. But when you look at Maida, just the successful World Cup that he had, and the fact that he scored at Ibrox. So you talk about it all the time, the options that they have, and you haven't even mentioned the main goal scorer yet, Kyogo, who doesn't really get involved in a lot of the build-up. He just likes to be on the end of things in and around the box, and his movement will cause Rangers problems today.
22 goals so far. Is he going to make it more today, do you think? So what's your prediction?
I think Celtic will win by a couple of goals. I'm going to go 2-0 Celtic.
By a couple of goals, yeah. Barry?
I think there's going to be goals in it. I think it's going to get into extra time.
So you think Rangers will get one?
Yep. One more than Celtic.
Yeah. Have we got the pies ready then? We're going to be on all afternoon.
Rangers know how important this is.
Yeah.
They need to put a marker down, because obviously with Celtic being 9 points in front and 20 goals better off as well, Rangers need to try and put a marker down and let Celtic know that they're going to challenge them, because the last 18 months or so Celtic have been the team out in front, the better team. League doesn't lie. So it's a big occasion for these Rangers players today, and I think Michael Beale knows that.
Yeah. Could two of the standouts be Ryan Kent?
No, I'm going to go in Rangers. I think Sakala have a big part to play. Big pitch suits him. I think Rangers are using his attributes really well. I mean, the biggest thing Sakala's got is his pace, and what I don't want to see is Sakala coming and looking for the ball. That's not his game. Get him in behind, in that area between Starfelt and Greg Taylor. So I think he could hurt Celtic. He done it in the 2nd of January, the game at Ibrox. I thought that was his best game in a Rangers jersey, and we all know Hampden's a big pitch. It looks decent, and that could be a big day for Sakala today.
Outstanding players is what it's about, Andy, isn't it? You know, we mentioned Ryan Kent, you mentioned Sakala. He's not outstanding yet, but his pace is electric.
Yeah, he's got the pace. I agree with Barry. I think that was his most effective game for Rangers. He used his pace well that day, but you just want to handle this occasion and make sure you get a good early first touch of the ball, do something with it. I mean, the atmosphere looks fantastic, so colourful there. Both sets of fans with their various tifos. Really, we've said it before, just a really good sell for Scottish football, seeing the stadium half and half.
It does. That looks so much better, isn't it? And it's people tuning in, as Andy says, not just down in England, but throughout the world, and seeing that. And I hope it brings a real good game of football. Because if you look at to the starting lineup, there's some fantastic football players there. There's guys that can win games of football, and I just hope it's a top game with plenty of goals, plenty of excitement, and my former team gets one goal.
You're excited?
Celtic. Yeah, listen, you've got to be excited. It's two good teams, two good managers going at it.
Here's the big news from the tunnel. Ange Postecoglou is wearing a shirt and tie, so he's not got the black jersey today. He's just spoken there to Nick Walsh. He went over, I think he shook hands with him there. We're just waiting to see Rangers in the tunnel. That must be a special moment, up against each other. Rangers and Celtic in the tunnel. I was lucky enough to be doing it on the telly and the radio over the years, trackside, but nothing would beat playing. But the atmosphere, you can cut it with a knife sometimes.
Nothing beats just the sheer volume of noise as you emerge from the tunnel, and it really just focuses your mind, and you look around and you think how lucky you are to be taking part in this game.
Yeah. And one side there you see the red, white and blue, and the other side the green, white and the gold. You can't beat it, Barry, can you? I see the Japanese flag as well.
Special, Paul, but leading up to these games I was always big on respect. You've got to respect your opponent, but once you cross that white line and the whistle goes, that goes out the window, and then after the game the respect comes back. But listen, it's a brilliant occasion. It's deafening at times. Honestly, I think some of my teammates actually preferred that way because they couldn't hear me during the games. But I hope it's a game full of goals, and
we'll definitely get drama. We'll definitely get controversy, and we don't mind controversy as long as it's not. I really hope we get 11v11, and I hope we're not looking to punish players as we so often have this season.
It's always a feisty encounter, and I hope Nick Walsh realises that there may be a a few tackles flying in, but he's got to understand that it's two teams that are desperate to win. So it's a big occasion for the referee as well.
And here they come. You can hear the Viaplay coverage, excellent coverage in the background, and we can see the two managers leading out the teams. Behind Nick Walsh, Kevin Clancy's there as well. I think he's the fourth official. In VAR, it's John Beaton. But let's hope we're not talking about VAR. There we can see a close-up of Michael Beale wearing the coat and applauding the Rangers fans looking around. Connor Goldson, John Lundstrom, Fashion Sakala just jumping up and down. And the last man on, Alfredo Morelos and Dyson Maeda for Celtic. As what a scene at Hampden. I know it's criticised, Andy, but on cup final day when it's the big two, special.
Yeah, absolutely special. I think it's a great sell for Glasgow, great sell for Scottish football, and these handshakes are just part of the deal for everyone. But it's the handshake at the end of the game that means more.
Yeah, we just saw it there with Michael Beale and.
I wonder whether they say, the best. No,
I know.
You're not saying that walking past
on your bike. I mean, you're right. Afterwards,
that's putting it politely, Paul.
And it's a painful handshake if you've lost. But you respect your opponent. I always remember Big Billy saying, win, lose or draw, you shake the hand of your opponent. If you've lost, get off the pitch, remember how it feels, and try and use that for the next one.
100%. Listen, it's great winning these games, but when you lose them, it hurts. But I think you've got to have that respectful side where you've got to go up and shake their hand after the game. There was only one or two players in my time of I don't know how many Old Firm games I played, 30 odd, around about 40 mark. There was only one or two players that weren't up for shaking hands after the game, win, lose or draw, and I didn't really like that.
No. Bit of respect for each other. We've got respect for Andy Walker, Barry Ferguson here.
When you lose, you don't want to.
You
want to, as Andy says, get up the tunnel as quickly as possible. But as I said, you've got to have that respect side of it.
You were talking earlier before the programme about you and Neil Lennon at times, and you'd have some real scraps with each other. But afterwards, it's fine. It's
that was like all the Celtic players. I respected them before it. During it, no, that goes out the window. But after it, there was always, Paul, a healthy respect.
Just watching here for the kick-off then. The pleasantries are just about over. A special day there for the mascots who came out with the team. The close-up is on Kyogo, top scorer in Scotland, 22 goals. One ahead of Lawrence Shanklin. Andy, your thoughts?
And you always manage to shoot into your own supporters for the second half at Hampden.
Right.
There's never I mean, even at Ibrox, we always wanted to shoot into the Broom Alone end second half. It was just the way it was. They're remembering Ron Gordon, the chairman of Hibs. I think there's going to be a minute's applause at Hampden.
That's right, for the man who has been a couple of years as the owner and the chairman of the football club, who just a few weeks ago shared with fans that he'd had cancer and he passed away just a few days ago, just ahead of the big game today. Down south, it's still Tottenham leading by 1-0. Who's going to win the title, Barry? We don't have time just now on it, but Arsenal could still well do it. It's going to be Man City, or is it going to be Man United? You just never know.
I think it's Man City.
Think they're going to come through.
I'll go for Arsenal. I think it's their year.
Yeah.
It looks good for them.
Good. Fraser Foster, of course, in goals. He played in the League Cup final in 2019 when Celtic won it. The last time they won it against Rangers.
Outstanding.
Yeah, wasn't he?
Outstanding in that game. Yeah, I was cursing the TV that day.
Yeah, I know, because Rangers played really well, but it was like Christopher
Paul,
Julian goal.
I said in Friday night, it's all about winning. Listen, it's a bonus if you play really well.
Let's see who's going to win it today. That's the minute's applause there for Ron Gordon. And we're underway. Andy, last moment thoughts? Do you want to change your mind? No? 2-0 you reckon? Yeah.
No, I think when you look at the last game at Ibrox, the 2-2 game, I was really impressed with the way Celtic started the game, because that was a stadium where pretty much apart from the 700-800, it was all Rangers fans. That's a difficult environment, and I thought Celtic started really well, and that's how they'll want to approach this cup final. Get on the ball, keep it, and make sure you're passing it well.
Barry, extra time. Yeah.
One thing I think Michael Beale knows, that Rangers need to match Celtic's energy. That's one thing about Celtic. They've got unbelievable energy about the team, and by watching Rangers over the last few months under Michael Beale, that's one thing that they have got about them now, is that bit of energy. So it's important that both teams will be desperate to grab the game by the scruff of the neck.
That's it, we've just kicked off. Celtic kick off. It was Dyson Maeda. And as you look from the main stand, Celtic are playing right to left, just as Andy mentioned there. So the game just underway. Barry thinks this could go to extra time, Rangers to win. Andy thinks it could be in 90 minutes, Celtic retaining the cup. It's going to be some afternoon's football. And thank goodness at last it's underway. We've talked about this game for over a month. The countdown to February the 26th. It's here. Can you tell it? It's too early just now. We're in the first 30 seconds or so, but often, Andy, you can tell.
Yeah, I think you can. Well, Celtic have got secure possession and not a great deal of pressing going on from Rangers. Celtic obviously won the toss and had kick-off, and they've moved it around reasonably well in the first 50 seconds.
Yeah. But Barry, I know sometimes you can see in the first few minutes who is on it. Here's Hatate for Celtic, plays the ball to the far post for Jota. Too much on it though, and the ball's out of play after 1 minute. Barry Ferguson, what are you thinking?
Yeah, well, this early stage, Celtic have tried to dominate the ball, and that's exactly what they've done there, just getting into the wide area there. Hatate overhitting that cross. Now Rangers will try and get the ball down and try settle themselves into the game.
Michael Beale was talking about Lundstrom, Raskin beforehand, saying they both certainly earned the right to play. Raskin is on the bench, as you know. We've had other players doing well, notably the two new signings, but I think it's the right thing for this team to start both John and Malik. They've trained for the last 2 or 3 days. I think they're fine and ready to go. Ange Postecoglou said, yep, it could go. If it goes into the last half hour, potentially going to extra time, it's going to be extremely consequential. The guys are ready for that. So obviously the strong bench he was speaking about. I keep saying to them, whether you play 30 minutes, 60 minutes or 90, make each minute count and make them the best of your career. As Alan McGregor clears for Rangers, out to the right to James Tavernier.
Well, earlier he had a by kick. Rangers normally play out from the back. I don't know whether it's just an early tactic, but Alan McGregor just went long. He wanted to fight for the ball in the opponent's half. A bit of a foul here from Sakala as it was played up to him on Greg Taylor. I think it was a hand into the face that gave the foul away.
A free kick then to Celtic. Greg Taylor, unsung hero, isn't he? I know you've praised him.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I was unsure when Celtic paid, what was it, £2 million to Kilmarnock, but he's became a big player for Ange Postecoglou, and he's certainly improved under Ange Postecoglou.
I think that's one of Ange Postecoglou's great strengths, the fact that he's got Taylor playing a really good game. When you look at the other side of the pitch, obviously Juranovic was there, but Anthony Ralston, whenever he played, I had so many Celtic supporters saying to me, Ralston won't do. But he has been a much better player under Ange Postecoglou, and I think it tells you it's important. You need to be able to coach and manage and improve players that are already there.
3 minutes gone in the derby. League Cup final, the Viaplay Cup final in the sunshine at Hampden. Quickly taken free kick by Callum McGregor up over the halfway line, trying to bring in Kyogo, but it's cleared by Rangers. Lundstrom there. He could be a cam head for them, Barry. John Lundstrom.
Yeah, I think it was important that Rangers had him fit to play today. Listen, had a tough first 6 months at Rangers, but I think he's became such an important player, certainly under Michael Beale. I just like John Lundstrom. Good energy about him. He's a good athlete, can pass the ball. So I think it was so important for Rangers to make sure he was fit and available today.
Malik Tillman down there, not much in it though, Andy, was there?
No, I don't think so. I think he got caught in the back of the head just with the knee, and you will see some tough challenges today, and it's just part of the game. And I just hope we get this high bar for challenges, and hope the referee and the linesman, they just look after the players, allow them to play a game where there is a lot of physical contact.
Of course, play the game as it should be. And let's hope Nick Walsh is allowed to referee the game and not be chased by VAR officials to go back 2 minutes to try and find something.
Unless it's right. Unless it's he's made a terrible error in VAR. VAR can work well.
Yeah. It's the way it's interpreted, Andy, isn't
absolutely.
It? Sure.
And I think too often, far too often, the interpretation's been poor.
More of Celtic so far, Andy? They've had more possession in 4 minutes.
Yeah, you're only into the opening 5 minutes, but Celtic have had the better of the ball. You've got a challenge here with Morelos just using his elbow, wants to tell Johnson he's going to be in a physical contest. And I'm just glad we're not seeing any yellow cards, because there's no need for it. All these are just fouls.
Not to a Rangers player has gone down. Just in front, it's Malik Tillman again. That's twice he's gone down in 2 minutes.
Well,
Barry.
the first one was his head, wasn't it, Barry?
Yeah.
This one, he's maybe got a sore knee.
Yeah, it's just a bang on the knee. Yep.
Okay. It's the Go Radio Football Show.
I've had to get Chris, the producer, to put it on the screen because I couldn't really see.
Am I in your way?
Yeah, you've grew. Obviously, the last day or two.
I'll move. Was I in your
no,
way?
I've got
No,
to
no.
hear. You're fine.
Sure?
You're fine. I've got to.
You
Chris
see
has
now?
done brilliant.
I nearly asked you
Right
that.
now you're in my way.
All right, okay.
Get out of the studio.
That's right. Is Richard Gordon available? No, he's still. It's the Go Radio Football Show, the Cup final
You get
with
the Chelsea
Macklin
boots
Motors. I know, I thought you'd say that.
big
I do.
heels.
I'll get them off and they'll disappear. Much so far, Barry, would you say 7-8 minutes? Neither side has gripped the game yet, have they?
No, it's a bit early, but as I said, it's always important that you try and get a foothold in the game as quickly as possible. Celtic have slightly had a bit more possession, but too early to tell just now, Paul.
Andy Walker, Barry Ferguson and Paul Cooney, and we're looking forward to the live programme with Barry. It's only a couple of weeks away. The 9th of March we're going to be at Oran Moor in the West End of Glasgow. Go to thisisgo.co.uk. Unscripted, uncensored, and we're looking forward to it. And then on the 30th of March with John Hartson at St Luke's we'll be, as Andy Celtic play it out back to the goalkeeper.
I mean, Golson played a long ball there and went out for a throw in, but Celtic were allowed to take the throw in to the goalkeeper. No pressure at all from any Rangers player, which I'm surprised at, because you had Celtic under a bit of pressure with a throw in almost 10-15 yards from their own corner flag.
Barry, strange that they didn't press.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we spoke about earlier on. It's not Joe Hart's major strength with the ball at his feet. And I'm surprised that a Morelos or a Sakala or even Ryan Kent didn't go and put more pressure on. But I noticed when it went back to Joe the second time, he never took any chances. He just got it up the pitch.
Maybe learn from the near thing last weekend. So it's 0-0, 7.5 minutes gone. We're watching it on Viaplay. You can hear it in the background there, the atmosphere of Hampden Park. No scoring with nearly 8 minutes on the clock. Sakala tries to play infield to Glenn Kamara, but it's picked up by Aaron Moy. Moy breaking forward for Celtic, just dinks it to his right. It's played out, Alistair Johnson out to Jota. Jota into the box, just dinks it forward, looking for Kyogo. Andy Walker, a chance there for Celtic, still in the attack.
They've moved the ball really well, and just some. I think any loose balls so far, it's a Celtic player that's been onto it, and they've certainly controlled the game in the first 8 minutes. This is quite similar to the way it developed at Ibrox, and I think what you want to do is when you're on top is get that opening goal.
As Jota, a real chance for Celtic forward, plays it in for Kyogo, but it's cleared there.
Can I just say, but just before that, when the balls went to Jota, I don't know what Andy thinks. Barisic has got to get tighter.
Well, he was offside, so I think Barisic knew he might have been offside when you see him here. So he was clearly offside, and this was allowed to develop. And I think this is sometimes frustrating when it takes that time to get the flag up.
Andy, this is a crazy rule, isn't it, Barry? We keep saying it. If
Players
he's
don't
offside,
like it.
he's offside. Get the flag up. Do your
Players
job.
don't.
No.
Well, on the really tight ones, I can understand it, because if he is
VAR.
onside and that ball's played across and you score,
I get it.
then I do understand it. But
not in
the
that
ones,
one.
yeah, exactly.
Barry, Celtic getting more of the ball at the moment, beginning to get a grip on it.
Yeah, they are. They're starting to dictate a bit of the play. But what I said, it's so important. I think in previous Rangers and Celtic games, Barisic and Tavernier have gave, whether it's Abada, Jota, Maeda, they've gave them far too much space. As soon as the ball arrives for them, they've got to be on their toes. Don't give them an inch. And I was just saying the previous one, I think when the ball goes to Jota, Barisic has got to get closer. Not allow him to come into the box, because you know what Jota's all about. He's very tricky.
Morella's good job he did there on Carter Vickers, didn't he? Just gave him a bit of a nudge.
He muscled him out of the game just with sheer strength, and it's not often you see him battered off the ball, Carter Vickers. So I think that shows you Morelos is up for it.
Up for it, Barry. You could see it there. Not many that barge Carter Vickers off the ball.
Yeah, it's going to be a good physical battle, that no doubt about it. that's what Morelos likes. He likes that side of the game. So that'll be an interesting battle throughout the game, that one.
If you're Matt O'Reilly, Andy, would you be disappointed not to start?
I think when you look at the players on the Celtic bench, I think there's a good number of them disappointed not to start. But I think what Ange Postecoglou does do, he gives them half an hour. He tells them they will play a part. It is, I mean, me and Barry weren't used to being rotated. If you weren't playing, you were dropped, and you weren't good enough, and you had to improve. But when you look at the size of the squad now and the fact that you can get 5 subs on, I think it does make a difference to a manager's thinking.
Tottenham have gone 2 up, and who else has scored but Harry Kane? As Celtic come forward down the left for Dyson Maeda.
This is a bit here.
Yep.
With Tavernier, when the balls went to Maeda, he needs to get out quicker. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Giving him too much space.
Yeah. They've got to get out. And I said that's one of the things I thought Michael Beale would have been working on, both fullbacks, making sure they're close to both wide men.
And the other thing, the way Celtic play, Barry, is they've got no physical presence inside the box. They like to play it around on the floor. I mean, obviously you can get in front of a defender and get a header in, but they never throw balls into the box. They always try and play through them.
11 minutes gone, 11 and a half minutes gone, and Nick Walsh blows there for infringement as we see Mark Hateley, who scored a fair number of goals for Rangers, didn't he, Barry? He's up there in the stand, but we're just seeing Celtic's attack breaking down. 11 and a half minutes gone, still 0-0. What would you change just now, Barry? Would you get a message to them, get tighter? The Rangers,
both fullbacks,
yes,
because that's one of Celtic's strengths.
Yep.
The wide men, they've not just good pace, they've got good technical ability as well. So that's one thing that Michael Beale will be drumming into the fullbacks.
Ryan Kent, we haven't seen much of him, but he was on the ball there to good effect for Rangers. It goes to Lundstrom to Kamara plays it out to Ryan Kent, plays it out to Barisic tries to whip it in, it comes off Alistair Johnson. Corner kick for Rangers. First corner.
Ryan Kent worked it well. Out the left hand side, Barisic, and obviously it's been blocked now. First corner for Rangers. This will be somewhere where I think Rangers could hurt Celtic. Definitely defensively at set pieces, it's not Celtic's strength, but in saying that, Rangers have been pretty poor at set pieces against.
Watching for it to come in. It's going to be taken by Glenn Kamara at the far side.
You need a good ball, you need a bit of pace on it. Taking a short one,
yeah, to Ryan Kent, who dinks it back to him just on the edge of the area, out to John Lundstrom, but he's forced wide.
That was a waste, Barry. Yeah.
But it's still Rangers coming down the left. Malik Tillman is going to go over. It's headed away by Carter Vickers, falls for Lundstrom, shot, keeper goes down, it bounces off a Celtic player. It's still Rangers coming forward. Ryan Kent down the left. Kent beats one, beats two, tries a shot, takes a deflection, and it's gone for us. It's like a goal kick. That was a chance for Rangers.
Yeah, good chance. Tillman, when he gets into that final third, Paul, and certainly when he gets inside the box, he's hard to tie down. That's areas where you want to see him get on the ball, Tillman. And I think, again, I know I mentioned Sakala, but Tillman could be a big player for Rangers.
Sure could. And will Rangers sign him permanently in the summer?
They've got to, Paul.
Yep.
They have to.
Yeah.
He's at a brilliant age. He's only 20 years of age, and remember, this is his first real season playing top level football, and I think each month he's get better and better. And for the sort of money that they're talking from Bayern Munich, I think it's a no-brainer.
He's steal. Aaron Moy was clutching his leg.
Yeah,
there.
he took a bit of a sore one, but it's interesting. When Celtic get possession, those wide men that Rangers have on the one side they've got Sakala, the other side they've got Kent, and they do drop back into the middle of the park. I think they're just wary of Celtic with being comfortable in possession, and they do a defensive job.
Still 0-0. Rangers beginning to get a foothold there in the last couple of minutes, but it's Celtic now with Carter Vickers. Plays it across to Carl Starfelt. Starfelt looks up to play it back to Carter Vickers, but no option. Morelos is there. He plays it out to the left to Maeda. Maeda to Greg Taylor. Taylor wins the throw in.
Rangers front three, I've noticed, are very narrow. Very narrow. Maybe that's a tactic, because obviously Celtic, Postecoglou likes the fullbacks to come in and be the central midfielders in beside Callum McGregor.
I think that took a bit of a bobble off the turf there. I don't know if it's the best. I would hope it was well watered. I mean, it's a beautiful day, good sunshine. but you want a really slick, fast surface. Definitely better than the semi-final surface, but I just wonder whether it'll cut up quickly.
Maybe not as smooth as the Tottenham Hotspur ground, Andy, which is to your right there, obviously, in the other screen. You can tell it doesn't look the same. Here comes Celtic down the right. Kyogo, he's got Jota with him. I think it's out to play. It's going to be a goal kick for Rangers. Celtic point of view, Andy, is that 20 minutes gone already? But how would you summarise Celtic so far? Maybe not on fire, but have they got the upper hand?
I think they'll be happy with the opening 15 minutes, the way they've settled, the way they're moving it. Interesting to see what Rangers do here with their by kick. Normally they like to play out for the back, but the last time Alan McGregor just went long, and he's done the same again. So I think they just want to try and fight for the ball in the opponent's half. They've got a throw in here now, which I think has worked well for them. But Celtic will be quite happy with the way the game started. I think Ange Postecoglou has seen his players control the ball and pass it reasonably well, but you just want to be working the goalkeeper.
Connor Goldson plays it forward, tries to bring Malik Tillman into it. Carter Vickers and Starfelt plays it back to his goalkeeper, who just chips it out to the right to the Canadian international.
Starfelt's played it back to Joe Hart, and Sakala and Kent are inside the box, and you're thinking, go and pressurise Joe into maybe making a mistake. So that's a bit of a surprise. Again, they've not closed Joe Hart down.
Maida down the left goes to the line. He's got Tavernier with him, and it's gone out of play. That happens sometimes with Maida and sometimes Sakala as well. I think
Maida has to do better there. I mean, he's got a bit of pace, but to be fair to Tavernier, he stood up, didn't dive in, and Maida just ran out of room, as we see your good friend again, Paul.
Who's that? Oh, it's Sir Rodney.
Sir Rodders.
Rod Stewart is there. Yeah, they're showing you. But Alan Brazil's there as well, I see. Yeah. Did you play with him a few stone ago? Did you, Big Alan?
A few stone for me?
What? No. What a broadcaster, though. But of course, Crofty and Grado back tomorrow morning. Barry, there you winced. Was that a bit of a couple of meaty challenges?
Yeah, it was
going
coming. 50,
Can you imagine that 15, 20 years ago? That type of ball, nobody would have dropped out of that.
Morelos has gone down, clutching his right ankle. Haven't seen that one. Let's see it back. Along with Alistair Johnson.
There's nothing in
nothing. Yeah. It's Oscar season, Barry. A little bit, or is it just? Or Andy, you're the champion of strikers.
Listen, if he gets a foul, well done. Every player's got every team has got a player like that can win a foul. It didn't look like a foul to me, but he's got it.
It's Paul Cooney with Andy Walker there and Barry Ferguson. The Go Radio Football Show Cup final special with Macklin Motors. Thanks to everyone at Macklin for joining us. You can join the conversation at Go Football Show. A wince there, Barry?
That was a loose one, Barry.
Yeah, a bit slack there. Ben Davis got a free kick. He's played it back to Lundstrom, and he's played a slack pass to Connor Golston. He's had to just put his boot through it and put it out for a throw in for Celtic. Celtic have settled the better. There's no doubt about it.
Yep, 18 minutes gone. Taylor to Hatate to Moy, looks up, plays it through to Jota tries to just dink it past the keeper, but that was almost like a pass back. Too fancy, Andy?
Yeah, it looked a bit too fancy. Get the ball under control. If you can't get a shot away, get something into the box. He had a good number of teammates. It's allowed Rangers to come at Celtic on the break, and you're always looking at Ryan Kent to be the guy who can get in behind or do something clever for Rangers.
Celtic a bit wasteful there, Barry.
Yeah, it was wasteful, but just now this is what Rangers need to do. Just keep a bit of possession for a minute or two. Ryan Kent's run across the pitch, played it to Tavernier. Now they're on the attack with Tillman. Ball into the box.
It's Sakala to Morelos turns, but it's easily cleared. Could have done better, Barry, or are you two players round him?
Yeah,
difficult.
It was a difficult one. The defender's done pretty well there. But Rangers need to settle in a wee bit, as I said. Just put your foot on the ball and keep the ball for a minute or two and let Celtic chase you a bit.
Brian's been on at the Go Football Show, saying could Celtic have had so many chances down, 5 crosses, 5 poor ones, need to do better, Andy?
Yeah, end product. They're not the type of team that will go direct. They always like to play it wide or play it through the middle. It's always on the floor. I think their football's been good, but the end product always has to be a bit better, especially with Jota there. I mean, he's picked it up well there, but I don't know, Barry, I think the pitch looks
sticky.
I think it looks a bit sticky.
Yep.
It's not really rolling as well as we thought it might.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't watered before it. I'm sure both teams would want that, but but when they're travelling, when the players travelling with the ball, it looks as if it's sticking on the surface.
Which we want a perfect pitch, don't we? It's cup final.
Listen, Paul,
It looks good, but I'm hoping it won't have too much of an effect in the game. I think it's been a decent contest when Rangers are going forward. They're knocking it about well, but Celtic have definitely had the majority of the ball, trying to get in behind here.
Come forward again for Kyogo into the box. Keeper goes down, gets to the ball first. Kyogo's down. Celtic fans looking for something from the referee. Andy, was there anything in it?
I didn't think it was a penalty. I thought it was a beautiful long ball in behind. I thought the first touch was really good, but it looked to be a...
As they come again, and Jota with a strike. Good save by Alan McGregor and cleared by James Tavernier. A real chance. The keeper did well, Barry.
Yeah, great save by Alan McGregor. They're putting on a bit of pressure now, Celtic. That's a couple of chances I've had. Kyogo through. I've not seen the replay. I think Kyogo's no complaint, so it tells me that Alan McGregor's got the ball there. And then Jota with a good strike outside the box, and McGregor down to his right hand side there.
Best chance of the game so far, Andy, there?
Well, you want to ask something of the goalkeeper, so It was a shot on target from Jota, and Celtic are moving it well, desperate to get this opening goal, just give them a stronger foothold in the game.
Celtic coming to the midway part as it gets to Jota down the left, but it's a poor cross. Too easy, Andy, into the arms of Alan McGregor.
Again, that end product. I mean, you saw Jota there coming onto the left hand side trying to get the ball in with his left, but here is the earlier one where Atati plays it through, and then there's that shot from Jota. It's a great save from McGregor. He gets down really, really quickly.
Just shows you 40 years old Alan McGregor gets down, no problem.
Paul, I still think he's a top class goalkeeper, and I said a few months back I think he would retire, but I watched an interview when he get voted into the Hall of Fame, and his interview kind of went along the lines of he maybe consider playing on for another season. I still think there's plenty of football left in Alan McGregor. There's this chance with Kyogo through. No, he totally misses the ball, and I think Alan McGregor gets a hand to it.
Yeah, ref got that right. No need for VAR to get involved, and again McGregor out to get him, but that was a good long ball over the top of the Rangers defence, and the first touch from Kyogo was really good. He just couldn't sort his feet out to get a shot away, but definitely no penalty, and McGregor again got his hand to it.
Midway through the first half, Rangers 0, Celtic 0 as Rangers come forward now. Edge of the box, but it's cleared. The attack breaks down. It's Aaron Moy back, but he's got Glenn Kamara on him. Kamara does well to win the ball. Referee says play on, so it's in Callum McGregor, Celtic captain. Forges down the right. He's got Lundstrom shadowing him the whole way, and it goes back to Ben Davies. Davies to Barisic, and he just chips it 40 yards up, but it comes to the head of Aaron Moy. No scoring in the derby, in the sunshine at Hampden, as Celtic come forward. Hatati 1-2 there with Maida. Referee lets it play on. Probably the right thing to do, Andy, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Let the game go.
Just set a high bar, even for fouls, never mind yellows or reds. Just set a high bar for a foul and let the game breathe. It's a much better game for it.
There's a hospital close by, isn't there, Andy? So you just let it go. No, there was nothing in that there.
But remember, it's a physical game, football.
Contact.
Yeah,
is it a contact sport?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is where Sakala can hurt Celtic.
Sakala's
he's in
on the
behind.
right.
That's the only thing that lets Sakala down. When he's got time to think, it's that final pass. But this is where Rangers have got to exploit, and I said that gap in between Starfelt and Taylor, and he's used his pace there. It's just that final ball. Morelos doesn't look too happy with the ball that Sakala's tried to play in.
I think Taylor has to be so aware of Sakala. I mean, he tried to close him down there, and he just waited for him to make his move, went in behind, and that was a big chance for Rangers because he was free there. He had acres of space.
Sunday afternoon, the League Cup final, the Viaplay final. There's a tussle. Connor Goldson there up with Carter Vickers and Joe Hart, and referee Walsh is saying, come on, steady, waiting for the corner kick. It's going to be taken by Borna Barisic. I think Walsh is there. Of course there is VAR as well. Carter Vickers, you see the height of Goldson, so dangerous in the box. Here it comes, left footed to the far post, almost too much on it, comes off the head of Ben Davies, so it's going to be a goal kick. Chance lost for Rangers, could have done more.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the best of deliveries from Barisic. That's one of his strengths, Paul. His delivery certainly from set pieces. So Michael Beale will be disappointed with that one, because I think it's something that Rangers work on pretty hard in training, is their set pieces, whether it's a free kick or a corner kick.
Tottenham have won the derby in London 2-0 against Chelsea. Harry Kane, Oliver Skipp got the first one, and it's going to be a free kick here, but you wonder about Graham Potter and his future there. Another defeat for Chelsea as Celtic come forward down the right. Alistair Johnson to Jota. Jota tries to play it to Maida, but it's knocked out of play by Ben
again,
Davies.
the ball's played wide to Jota, and Barisic is 3 or 4 yards off him.
They're not listening, are they? That, they're not getting tight as the ball is taken thrown.
Force them back the way.
Yep.
That's what you want. You want to force these type of players back the way. Can't give guys like Jota and Maeda the space like here. Like Tavernier's allowing them. What do you think, Andy?
I think if he comes out, but if Maida keeps doing that, then Tavernier will be quite happy for him to be on the ball. His end product has been non-existent, but if you imagine him going wide out to the touchline with him, it leaves that space just down the channel for Kyogo to go in. So I don't know, maybe it's the lesser of two evils, and maybe it's what the manager wants. Don't let them play it down inside the channels, let them get it wide.
26 and a half minutes gone, there's no scoring. Celtic have had more of the possession, and Jota had a great chance, but here come Rangers down the right, out to Sakala from Kent. Sakala turns, checks, he's won. Is that a goal kick? It's going to be a goal kick. Another chance lost. Andy, he should have done better.
He should have done better. He looks dangerous because he get fed there with Ryan Kent. He get fed earlier, when he was played inside the full-back, Greg Taylor. And you see it all the time, Barry, just about the end product. He's inside the box here. He's got a couple of options, maybe 3 options. I mean, he's a bit unlucky to get the last touch and turn it round for a bye kick, but I think they're good chances.
Rangers 14 games under the new manager Michael Beale in November. 13 wins, 1 draw. Celtic undefeated in that time as well, and just the 1 draw against each other. As Jota, good play, Jota, 30 yards out, wasn't it? Indeed. To Johnson, it was left. Maida leaves it for Hatate. Celtic wasteful, Andy, would you say?
Well, a cheeky wee nutmeg here from Jota on Ryan Kent, just sets the ball wide again, and Johnson plays it in. It comes to nothing, but again, it's promising as Kemar Roof. Sadly in the stand, he's not fit, Barry.
Yep, he's. I think he's struggling with a calf injury again, which is disappointing. Because I think he's a top striker, but he's had so many injury problems since he's signed with Rangers. They'll need to try and get the bottom of it, because he's got another year, Paul. I thought he was out of contract in the summer. I think his contract runs to the end of next season. So they'll be desperate trying to get the bottom of this issue, because it's been going on now for far too long.
His goals ratio is good. The trouble is,
you see him when he comes on, Paul. He's a quality operator, no doubt about it. He's got great movement. He knows where the back of the net is. He does the hardest game in football for me, and that's score goals.
Can you see the screen okay? As Celtic come forward, edge of the box, but it's cleared. Fashion Sakala's back. He beats Hatate. He looks up and he plays it to Alfredo Morelos. The Colombian plays it back to Lundstrom. Lundstrom plays it out to the right, trying to bring in.
Well, you see where Morelos was, Paul. I mean, he's 10-15 yards inside his own half to receive the ball. That just shows you how wary Rangers are of Celtic just knocking the ball around. And I think Ange Postecoglou will just be happy as you getting close to the half hour, just with the width Celtic have got to the game, and they just need to do better in the last third.
As they come forward, Alistair Johnson, ball's gone out of play, and
a bit bobbly, no?
Yeah, it is definitely.
It does look dry, the pitch.
Yeah. It's been relayed obviously since the semi-finals and that weekend, where the weather was horrendous, but so was the pitch, as Morelos and Carter Vickers just having a little just a slight push there on your bike, on your way. Half an hour just about has gone. Just seeing that replay, nothing in it, Andy, was there?
There's nothing in it.
No.
I think Celtic have been the better side for the opening half hour, but you just don't rule Rangers out. I mean, Sakala here getting in behind, a moment of magic and something could happen.
Here's Sakala, edge of the box, into the box, looks up, who's with him, plays it for Malik Tillman, but it is broken down there by Aaron Moy.
Get to the byline. Go take him to the byline. Yep. And
That's
if he
his
cuts it
strength,
out, if he cuts it out, then you've got a chance of getting a corner kick. But this is an area where I think Rangers have identified. It's Sakala against Greg Taylor.
Ryan Kent to Alfredo Morelos. Morelos to Kent. Kent, can he get a right foot shot away? No, he plays it. Tavernier into the box. It's going to be just past the post. Best chance of the game so far for Rangers, and it's Fashion Sakala.
Well, I think it's Carter Vickers who turns it round. Carter Vickers is in the danger area, knowing that Sakala is in front of him. He's got Tillman behind him, and that's the sliding challenge of a man in top form.
See, that's the difference with obviously Ryan Kent playing in Tavernier. It's the quality of the ball in. Sakala just misses it, but it's great defending by Carter Vickers.
That was similar to what he did against Rangers just last month in the derby in the league. This is in the cup. Chance for Rangers. Ball into the box. Comes off the head though of Aaron Moy. It's going to be another corner kick. Real chance, Barry. Best spell here for Rangers.
Yeah, better delivery. Sakala just misses it there. That's what Barisic can do, Paul. His deliveries, no doubt about it.
We bit surprised that Moy was on Alfredo Morelos there when the ball came into the box. I mean, Morelos is much more aggressive than Aaron Moy, and he's still on him here.
James Tavernier at the Celtic end of the ground, looking up. Right footed, he's going to take it. Rangers have got Goldson up there, they've got Lundstrom. Here it comes. Right footed into the box. Morelos tries to get to it. Comes off the head of Hatate. It's going to be another corner kick, Barry, for Rangers.
They're putting the pressure on now. This is, as I said, Paul, from set pieces, Rangers can do a bit of damage. In the delivery, last one for Barisic here and Tavernier, that's the sort of delivery you want. Whipped in the dangerous area, the 6-yard box.
Here we go again. Tavernier
another great
into
ball.
the box. Yeah, comes off the head of Carter Vickers to Starfelt, left footed. Puts it up towards the halfway line, just goes over the halfway line. Glenn Kamara is there, but it's a poor header and goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw in to Celtic.
Just get your head through that and get it 20 yards further up the pitch.
Well, Carter Vickers has shown how important he is, not just that saving challenge, but the headed clearance. He is a tower of strength in the heart of that Celtic defence.
Crucial stoppage by him a few moments ago.
He holds that Celtic defence together, no doubt about it.
Because Taylor's not having his best game so far. And you see Jota there, Andy. He wants the ball back faster from the ball boys and ball girls, because that's part of the Celtic way of playing.
Yes, they want to play really quickly, but even that ball there, where it's in behind Tavernier, doesn't know what to do with it, doesn't want to pass it back to McGregor, kicks out for a throw in, and Celtic build from there, just with passing it around.
And they pass it to Starfelt. It's the Viaplay Cup final, 0-0, 33 minutes gone. Here comes Dyson Maida down the right. I think it's going to be a corner. Barisic, or is it a throw in? We'll find out in a second or two. It's going to be taken by Aaron Moy. Yep, it's going to be the corner kick. So chance for Celtic, 0-0, Andy. 33 minutes gone.
Again, all you ask for is just a good delivery, something with a bit of pace, something that your teammates can go and attack.
Here it comes, right footed, high into the box. Starfelt. Celtic not got the tallest team. Ben Davis in there, Connor Goldson. It's with Reo Hatate on the left hand side, 30 yards out, plays it to his captain Callum McGregor, sweeps it across to Jota, who's come really deep. In fact, he's facing back to goal, plays it all the way back to Joe Hart. It's not normally what we see from Celtic, Andy.
No, poor from Joe Hart, not his best strength. I don't know why he came out so far. I mean, if Jota's playing it back to him, just be in your box and let the Rangers player run at you and give yourself a bit more time.
See the panel there on Sky for the Carabao Cup final, Andy. Not as many as they've got in the Viaplay, but some players there. Look at Ginola, Ferdinand.
Les Ferdinand, what a player.
Roy Keane, of course.
Fantastic.
And Gary Neville for the Carabao Cup final. In the Viaplay Cup final, 34 minutes gone. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. What are you thinking, Barry? What are you feeling? Are you happy that Rangers are still at 0-0? Celtic have had more of the play.
Yeah, they've had a few more opportunities, but I think from both teams, when they've got into the areas, I think the delivery's been pretty poor. Apart from Tavernier, with Carter Vickers has obviously made a last-ditch tackle. But Celtic slightly are in top, no doubt about that.
Bit of a push there. Tavernier just trying to get on the ball with Dyson Maida, nothing in it. And it's Malik Tillman. Tillman does well to get round Maida, but loses out to Hatate. Hatate, he gets the ball from Greg Taylor. Is that going out of play? It's going to be a throw in, the throw in for Celtic. Andy, you enjoying the game? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the way it's been refereed so far. Just letting everything go. There's been nothing to. That was Starfelt taking a bit of a chance there with a Cruyff turn inside his own. It's almost his own 6-yard box.
You heard the oof from all three of us. That's well, you know what happens. Celtic have been so good this season, but that is potentially one of the weaknesses in the box when they're just trying to clear it. Starfelt took his eye off the ball and eventually did clear.
He's took a chance there.
He has.
No doubt
I mean,
about
you've
that.
seen some awful goals recently in the
we?
Scottish
Yeah.
Premiership with, Dundee United, St Johnstone, all the rest of it. My goodness.
Champions League as well, the other night. Yeah.
Looks awful when the keepers get it wrong or defenders get it wrong.
Match of the day yesterday. Well, the scoreline of the day was definitely Dundee United losing 4-0 to Ross County, so they are anchored at the bottom of the table. The Celtic 0-0 with Rangers, 36 minutes gone, and Hatate shouting for the ball again. He was trying to play in Maida. Tavernier's shouting. Barry wants them maybe to get tighter, get his players back as Celtic.
Yeah, he's wanting the midfielders to get closer to the Celtic midfield. As I said, you can't let Callum McGregor dominate the ball. He's in that area just in front of Starfelt and Carter Vickers, and he's picked the ball up 4 or 5 times, and he's on the half turn looking to play that ball forward. And I think Tavernier's giving the midfielders a bit there, and rightly so, because they need to get closer.
Alistair Johnson, his first cup final with Celtic, played in the World Cup, but breaks down, Andy, and it's Carl Starfelt who plays it out left to Greg Taylor. He's got Tillman with him. But Greg Taylor manages to play.
Celtic are a better team in the middle of the park just now, but you've got to be so wary of Rangers on the break when Sakala getting in behind. I know nothing has happened as yet, but Rangers look dangerous when they get forward, but Celtic just trying to find that opening.
Here comes Jota, the Portuguese star, edge of the box to Kyogo. Not seen much of a beautiful chip over the top. That was a good effort though, Andy.
Not his best effort. I didn't see any scrambling from Alan McGregor. I think he had it covered. But Celtic, when Jota coming in from the right, then just a drop of the shoulder there from Kyogo. But not his best attempt at goal.
Nor mine, obviously. I'm doing my best. I'm not Crocker, but okay.
Well, here's another by kick. I'm just wondering if Alan McGregor's going to play a short one. They want it, but he's gone long every single time, and he's going to go long again.
That must be part of the game plan, Andy, because he likes to play out for the back. Maybe he's just wanting to get into Celtic's half and try and win. If you don't win the first, you've got to make sure you win the second. The second ball when it drops.
Chris is putting the pies on for half time. Take Andy Walker's off. He's not getting the McGee's pies.
There's got to be an edge to your commentary as well.
I know, but I'm not Crocs. Come on, we know that. Would I be in here with you if I was Ian Crocker?
Get your elbows into
That's
Crocker.
right.
He likes one of them.
It's going to be a throw in to Celtic. 38 minutes gone. Bit of cat and mouse game, isn't it? It's been some good football, nothing outstanding. Best chances Jota for Celtic. As Celtic, it's the ball played back. There should be nothing in it to the keeper. But Andy, yet again,
he likes to give the air that he's confident with the ball at his feet. He's not. And he was under a bit of pressure there. Just went long, thankfully, because he didn't take any chances.
Barry, it's like he tries to suspend time or something, Big Joe. And he almost was caught out again.
Yeah, he lets the ball come across him quite often. I don't understand nowadays. Just sometimes put your boot through it and get it up the pitch 50 or 60 yards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rangers coming forward.
That's not like to say good football, but there's. I go back to like the Dundee United game, for instance, with the bad mistake against St Johnstone. Dundee United have just scored a goal a minute before, and they're trying to play out for the back. Get the ball up the pitch,
and that could change their season as Rangers come forward just over the halfway line.
Where is Ryan Kent playing, Barry? He's wandered. He must be over at the right just now, because there he is. He's in acres of space.
He's so deep a moment ago. So it's Ryan Kent, right footed, turns, checks.
He's got to have a pop.
Goes to line up.
See there, he's got to have a pop and goal.
And
I think
he does.
It's too late. He's took an extra touch. Sometimes he gets that extra half yard because he can clearly hit it. He's left or right.
I always think he's a potential match winner for Rangers, whether he sets something up with his skill, with his ability, with his imagination, or whether he has a pop-it goal himself. But he's going all over the.
He's got a kind of free rein, Andy.
Yeah,
he's got a free rein. I think I think that's why you're seeing Michael Beale getting the best of him, because he under Gio, he kind of was told to stay out in the left hand side as he's as he can move all over the place under this formation that Michael Beale plays.
Well, they played in
he has a difference.
Yeah, he is.
He has got that bit of magic in the final third.
Here comes Jota to Kyogo. Kyogo with a shot, but Andy over the top. Should have done better.
At the very least, you've got to work the goalkeeper. There's a loose ball, it's given away by Ryan Kent, and Jota plays it in behind for Kyogo. He catches it really well, but nowhere near the target.
Barry, there it is again. Kyogo.
Yeah, I think Connor Golson does well to get across, but listen to previous managers and playing under playing with top strikers, they always want to cut across the goal. And Kyogo's obviously, he's a bit wild with that effort, no doubt about that.
Quick first half. There's only 4 minutes plus stoppage, which there have been very few. Been nothing really. Lundstrom forward to Morelos, who looks to chase it, but he's not the Morelos of a couple of years ago.
Morelos.
Yeah, I just mean the shape, Barry. He's not the lean mean that he was a couple of years ago.
Oh, we keep talking about this.
Yeah, but I saw it in that shot there. Sure. Yep.
You know what I mean? You've got to be in peak condition.
Yep. A chance for Kyogo over the top. Great ball in the head of Kyogo, the Japanese star. That could have been goal number
Brilliant
23.
cross. Absolutely brilliant cross from the right hand side. Is it Johnson? And he's in acres of space there. He allows Goldson to go back. He stands still. He's got a full head on it.
He's got to hit the target there, Andy.
He can't find any part of the target. Can't work the goalkeeper. That's a really good chance for Kyogo.
Barry?
Yeah, I think he's got to hit the target there. He does well to lose Connor Golson. Good cross in for the right hand side, but I think he'd be disappointed he's not at least hit the target there.
We can hear Ali in the background there on Viaplay. He also feels that's probably the best chance of the game so far. Celtic with 3 minutes to go in the first half, coming forward again. Alistair Johnson out right to Aaron Moy. Moy, he's got Hatate close by, but he plays it back to McGregor. McGregor to Carter Vickers across the back four to Starfelt to Taylor. Rangers forcing them back. Sakala is up and it's played all the way back to Joe Hart. Good pressure from Rangers' point of view, Andy. Barry?
I think they can put a bit more pressure if I'm being honest with you. When it goes to Starfelt, Sakala's started his run and then it goes back to Joe Hart. Go at full pelt and try and put him under a bit of pressure.
Can Celtic produce something here, Andy, just before half time? Here's Maida down the left, goes towards the line. He's got Hatate inside, looks up, chips it forward.
Yeah, gives it away. I mean, he's doing well to be in acres of space, but his end product has been non-existent so far. You've got to say the same about Jota. He's wanting it over on the right hand side. Frustrated he's not getting on the ball here, but you're just looking for that bit of quality in the last third. I think a lot of the play in the middle of the park has been good, but you're just looking for a bit of magic in the last third from either team.
As the 43-minute mark has come and gone. So here's Reo Hatate in the midfield, plays it forward to Aaron Moy. Moy, he's got good overlap there by Taylor. Taylor in, great chance, Celtic score. Kyogo, goal 23 of the season, the 44th minute. Kyogo, acres of space. Celtic take the lead in the cup final.
Well, I think Barry's been speaking about it pretty much the whole of the first half. The amount of space that Celtic have had in Rangers' right back area, and it's the easiest goal that you want from Kyogo. It's a tap in, but Celtic had so many players inside the box. Tavernier's in trying to get Moy. Lundstrom is out of position. Maida misses it at the front post. It goes past Davis. Goldson's out of position, and it's such an easy tap in for Kyogo.
See, when the ball goes into Aaron Moy there, and as Andy says, Lundstrom's out of position, Kamara's got to identify that and come across. He gives him too much space. He's on the half turn, plays a good ball down to Greg Taylor. Maida actually misses it, but it's a tap in there for Kyogo. Michael Beale will be absolute fuming with that. Again, too much space in the middle of the pitch, too much space in the wide area.
So Celtic go up with a minute to go in the first half.
I think deserved. They've been the better side. They've controlled the ball. It's been better passing. It's been better movement, moving it from right to middle to left. They've got the breakthrough. Celtic just want to build on this now.
Johnson plays it into the box, looking for Maida. Comes off the head of Tavernier. Sakala's back trying to help. Comes off Maida. It's going to be a throw in to Rangers. 45 minutes. What a time to score a goal, and what a time to lose a goal, Barry, just before half time.
Yeah, it's a sickness. Listen, Celtic have been a better team, but when you're getting close to that half time, you need to make sure you're solid and compact. As I said, far too much room in the middle of the pitch for Aaron Moy to go in the half turn. As I said, Kamara has got to identify that. He doesn't get close to Moy. He slips a good ball through to Greg Taylor, who plays it across the 6-yard line, and it's an easy goal, an easy tap in for Kyogo, but it's a bad goal to lose
Barry,
from Rangers' point of view.
I'm looking at Ben Davies here, and he's got the ball and he's got options. His pass always seems to be a 15, 20, 30 yard pass, which you know yourself, you're always more liable to lose it if you're playing longer passes. Rangers are not playing out from the back the way Celtic are, and Celtic are just more comfortable in possession. This is where Rangers look dangerous on the break.
And it's Sakala on the break, up over the halfway line, 2 Celtic players
they
around
look
him.
a bit more composed, no doubt about it. Generally, watching Rangers since Michael Beale's come in, they do try and play out for the back, but they've certainly not been doing that in the first half.
Is that a tackle there? Greg Taylor on Sakala.
He's actually given the foul, so I think that's good refereeing. Just allow the advantage. There was none, bring it back, but thankfully he's not shown any yellow cards.
As the half-time whistle is gone, so get the pies ready, get the cup of tea on or whatever you're having here. The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Just looking here, it's Kyogo who scored the goal after 44 minutes. He was unchallenged, there was nobody around him. Maida missed it, but it fell for him and he just tapped it past Alan McGregor. End of the first half, quick break, and then we're back. Barry Ferguson and Andy Walker will look back at the first half and see what the managers will do for the second.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Book your service, MOT or repair online today at macklinmotors.co.uk.
Let's go! 7 minutes to 4 Sunday afternoon. It's Paul Cooney with Andy Walker and Barry Ferguson. The Viaplay, the Scottish League Cup final. Celtic go in 1 up at half time. Andy, just looking at the first half there, what a way to finish from a Celtic point of view, because it looked as though it was going to be 0-0, but they had a real confidence as the first half progressed.
Well, you talk about both boxes, Paul, and Celtic have got a leader at the back in Carter Vickers. He's kept Rangers out, he's been really strong, and you've got a goal scorer at the other end. I know it's a tap in, but he's always in that position, not often involved in the build-up. He's always looking to get in behind. And when you see the goal, and it's coming from McGregor going down that left-hand side, I think thankfully Maida misses it at the front post. But he's there in the right place at the right time. Tavernier's nowhere near McGregor. Golson's out of position. Davis comes across, and obviously with Maida missing it, it just confuses him. And there's Kyogo with just a simple tap-in. But Celtic have been good in both boxes. I think Carter Vickers, the part he's playing, I think it's really important.
Barry, what happened around that goal? Because it looked ominous for Rangers.
I've watched it 3 or 4 times now, Paul. There's 3 phases. When it goes into Moy, Lundstrom's obviously out of position. Kamara has got to come across and take that position that Lundstrom would naturally be in. The ball goes wide to Greg Taylor. Tavernier has got to get closer to stop the cross. And then when obviously Maida misses the ball, Davis is attracted to that, and Barisic for me has got to come in. So there's 3 issues there, and I'm sure Michael Beale won't be happy. I think he'll make a change at half time. I think he'll have to bring Raskin on. He needs somebody to be in that middle of the pitch and get a foothold in the game, get their foot in the ball, make passes, calm them down a wee bit, because they looked a bit nervy for me, Rangers, throughout that first half.
And we're just seeing pictures there of a really good chance Kyogo had with the Johnson cross, Kyogo's header. Should have done better, at least make Alan McGregor make a save, get it on target. But I think Celtic probably deserve their lead. I think they've controlled so much of the play, so much of the ball. Rangers have looked dangerous at times, but no end product.
We're just seeing Rangers' best chance, and it was Carter Vickers who...
That's the defending that you're talking about. That's the leadership that you need in the heart of your defence. If he doesn't get that, I don't know who, is it Tillman who's behind him, and he's getting a Kyogo goal, just a simple tap in. Carter Vickers has been magnificent.
Yeah, it's actually a good piece of play by Rangers. Ryan Kent in that central area, getting a bit of space, and it's a good quality ball for Tavernier, but it's equally as good defending by Carter Vickers. And again, if he misses that, It's a tap in at the back post, similar to what Kyogo had for Celtic for Tillman to put in the back of the net.
It could have been similar to the Celtic goal. If Raskin comes on, who goes off? Is it Kamara?
Yeah, I think they need to. As I said, I was surprised, really surprised that Raskin didn't start the game. He's composed on the ball. He tries to dictate a game of football, and I think he will make that change at half time.
Andy, would you make that switch if you were Michael Beale?
Yeah, I think so. Rangers need to step up because they're not controlling. They've got no sustained pressure. There's no controlled passing. Celtic have got some controlled passing, and you can argue about them and be critical of their end product, but they're controlling the vast majority of the game, and Rangers need to do something. I think from a Celtic point of view, you just want to build on this. They've got, when you see the amount of options in the box, I mean, can Goldson not get back a bit quicker? Look at him here, Barry. Can you not get? Why is he hanging about outside when he knows it's going wide?
Yep.
He could have been in the position in front of Maida to stop that. As soon as he sees Maida,
there's a number of issues you could pick for that goal, Andy. I pointed out 3. Andy's made the point about Goldson. When he starts to face his own goal, for me, you've got to sprint back, and maybe if he sprints back, then he could cut that cross out.
Yeah.
Once Greg Taylor plays it in.
That's the picture I've got in my mind.
Yep.
So Rangers had that chance that was cleared by Cameron Carter-Vickers for Celtic. Jota had a decent shot early on after 22 minutes, Andy. Remember that one?
I'd written down the Jota shot that McGregor saved. I think another important part has been the Carter-Vickers defending, the Kyogo header, Kyogo getting the opening goal. And I think Sakala does look dangerous, but Barry's said that maybe sometimes he doesn't know what he wants to do himself. But he is a threat because he has got in behind a couple of times. And from a Rangers point of view, I think they need to make more use of that.
Brian had been on the socials just saying that Maida is off it today. They should make a switch. No switch.
I think he's causing Rangers problems. I totally get it. His end product has not been good, but he's keeping good width to the side. He's giving Rangers a problem. And I don't think Ange Postecoglou will make a change yet. I think he will do around the hour mark, and he's got good options. Abada could come on, Jota could go over the left. I actually think Jota's a better player on the left rather than on the right.
Yeah.
So they've got options there with Abada, maybe Haksabanovic. You know, he's got some skill, ability, imagination, or maybe even the physical presence of O.
Sure. The Turnbull as well, Kobayashi, Iwata, O'Reilly, Ralston in the defence, Bain in goals, Haksabanovic and Abada you mentioned. The Rangers bench, McLaughlin, Hadji, Jack, Cholak, Cantwell, Wright, Arfield and Raskin, whom Barry thinks should come on soon, now probably, and Devine. Half time then at Hampden in the Sunshine. It's on Viaplay. We've been watching it and had it on in the background. See Gordon Strachan there, former Celtic manager, alongside Brian Laudrup. Quick break here on Go Radio, and then we're back and ready for the second half.
The Go Radio Football Show with macklinmotors.co.uk. Choose and reserve your next used car online today for a fully refundable £99.
Let's go! Sunday afternoon, just gone 4 o'clock. Paul Cooney with Barry Ferguson and Andy Walker. We're here tomorrow evening at 5 with Mark Guidi, Mark, Barry and myself. And we'll be talking about, obviously, this game, the Scottish League Cup final, the Viaplay final, which at half-time, Celtic are in the lead, 1-0. It came in 44 minutes, and it was Furuhashi Kyogo, top scorer in Scotland, his 23rd of the season. Carabao Cup final will be coming up shortly as well. It's going to be Newcastle back at Wembley.
Why, aye, man.
Your old club, Andy Walker, who spent all of, 5 weeks, was it?
Just about.
Was
5
it?
weeks,
Up against Man United, who'll be everyone's favourites. And everyone feels for Nick Pope missing out in this one. And I don't know if Rashford is going to play for Man United. Who's going to win it, Barry?
I would love to see Newcastle United win it. I played there a number of occasions, and the atmosphere at St James's Park was absolute electric. But just the way that Ten Hag has got Man United playing, players that were struggling big time, and you've just mentioned them, Marcus Rashford. For me, he's the form player at this moment in time. But just I think Casemiro in the middle of the pitch has made a hell of a difference as well. Yeah, he's a top player. Love to see Newcastle win it, but I think Man United will do it.
Andy, who's going to win?
I hope Newcastle, but I can see Man United doing it. I think they're in a better form at the moment, and I agree with Barry. Just the influence of Ten Hag, dealing with some really difficult issues. The England captain Harry Maguire, arguably the best player in the world, Ronaldo. I think he's handled all those difficulties really well.
Half time though here in Glasgow, just waiting for the teams to come back out at Hampden. Andy, same again then, looking at Celtic first of all, no changes at half time?
Same again, and try and build on it. You're a goal to the good. You've still keep getting that ball wide. Try and feed Jota a bit more. Try and get to Maida. And I know he's not been at his best, Maida, but he is giving Tavernier a bit of a problem. When you look at Tavernier, he's screaming at his teammates to get back in and to help him defend. So just keep it going the same way.
Barry, for Rangers, for those that missed it, you would go for a change with the manager. Bring on Raskin.
Yeah, they need to improve, no doubt about it. I'm sure Michael Beale will be in that dressing room demanding that. They need somebody in there to put their foot in the ball, and for me, Raskin would be perfect at that. Watching the game, I just think Celtic look a bit more streetwise than Rangers. Rangers look a bit nervy, so I do think he'll make a change. It'll be interesting. We'll see in a minute or two if he's going to make that change, but I think that would be ideal for Rangers if a player like Raskin would come into the middle of the pitch and try and dictate the game, because I think Celtic are dictating it for the middle of the pitch. Certainly Callum McGregor is getting far too much space on the ball, and so is Hatate and Moy. And I look back in the goal and I keep saying it. I mean, I've said 3 points about Kamara's got to be closer to Moy, got to close the cross in from Greg Taylor, and I think Barisic can get across a wee bit, but again also Connor Golson can get in a bit quicker. So I think Michael Beale will be disappointed by the first half, and the only positive side, Rangers can only improve in the second.
Yeah, Connor Goldson was definitely suckered out of position, wasn't he? He was sucked out of position.
Yeah.
Maeda played his part in it, despite the fact he missed it. Andy, in the second half, are Celtic going to go for it early on, try and finish the game off almost? I mean, you can't say that too, but
I think to be patient, make sure that you use the width of the pitch, because that, I think, has troubled Rangers. I think Rangers are sitting just a bit too deep, and I think that suits Celtic. Both teams now shooting into their own supporters, which they'll enjoy. But I think if Celtic can get the second goal, I can't see Rangers coming back from a 2-0. Obviously game on if it's you get the equaliser, because
you never know in the derby, the Old Firm derby, the Glasgow derby, as referee Nick Walsh comes out, the players obviously no change whatsoever. Ange Postecoglou's got the anorak on as the sunshine disappears, although I think it is still out over the south side here. There's Kyogo, the scorer. He's been some signing, hasn't he, Barry? Kyogo, we'd heard nothing of him 18 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Never knew anything about him, and he's come in and he's been an unbelievable signing for Celtic. What was it, £2.5 million? Scored some amount of goals. He's got excellent movement, an absolute snip for that kind of money.
How's the pie, Andy? Just munching, just nod.
Beautiful. You need a pie and a bovril. Celtic Rangers, can't beat it.
We had that yesterday at the Ackies, so they're about to kick off. Rangers playing right to left as you look from the main stand. We're on the Viaplay, excellent coverage. Michael Stewart's on there as well, our own big John Hartson, Alan Hutton's on, and of course Brian Laudrup. As Rangers kick off, Ryan Kent plays it back to Ben Davies. He thumps it up out to the right, looking to bring in James Tavernier as Rangers start a goal down. We'll see how they react to that goal just a minute before half time, and they come forward, but Aaron Moy is there, who was preferred to Matt O'Reilly. You know the lineup: Celtic are Hart, Johnson, Vickers, Starfelt and Taylor, McGregor, Moy, Hatate, Jota, Maeda and Kyogo. And Rangers: McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Davies and Barisic, Kamara and Lundstrom, Tillman, Fashion Sakala, Kent and Morelos. As Ryan Kent, we shuffle from him up towards the halfway line. He's tackled there by Callum McGregor. It's free kick to Rangers.
It's a free kick. Honestly, I think some weeks ago you'd get a yellow card for that. And so whatever Nick Walsh is thinking, I admire that refereeing. Just no need to show yellow cards for fouls.
Let it breathe.
Let it breathe, and he's doing all right so far.
Ball's played down the right to the captain. James Tavernier went into the Rangers Hall of Fame last weekend along with Stephen Davis and Alan McGregor. And the ball's played out to Borna Barisic, the Croatian international. Good 1-2 there with Kamara, but it falls for Carter Vickers. Not his best clearance. Comes to Morelos. Morelos forward, but it breaks down. And it's Celtic coming forward. Up towards the halfway line. Just dinked forward to Jota. Jota can't get past Lundstrom. And it's going to be a throw in for Rangers. Right in the halfway line. Lundstrom to Kamara. Kamara, though, loses out. Good play by Aaron Moy. He's a terrific player, Andy, isn't he? Aaron Moy.
He's just, I remember seeing him at Huddersfield, and I thought, what a clever player, because just the way he keeps the ball, nothing flash about him at all. Really clever player.
Celtic come forward to Maeda. Maeda being sort of shepherded there by Goldson. Referee says play on. So Maeda tries to thread it through to Kyogo or Hatate there. In fact, Hatate wins the ball, but there's a foul. It's going to be free kick. I think some of those smoke bombs have been let off by us, a few of them there. What do you notice the first couple of minutes? 2.5 minutes, still 1-0 Celtic.
Well, first of all, there's been no change. I thought there maybe have been a change at half time, but Rangers need to get further up the pitch. I think Andy mentioned it, but it looks at the midfield three are closer to the Celtic midfield three. As I said, I thought the three in the middle of the pitch for Celtic did dictate the tempo of the game, but it's still early doors.
As Rangers come forward down the left, Barisic, you hear Barry saying good play, comes off good defensive play by Callum McGregor. It's going to be a throw in to Rangers. There's going to be a corner kick just down. Yep, it's a corner.
I think that's the imagination Celtic need to be aware of. Just a little touch here from Kent. There's nothing on, and he thinks you're going to be closed down. Just a lovely little flick into the path of Barisic, and it gets Rangers a corner.
It's going to be a corner kick. Rangers first of the second half. Celtic are one up. Here comes James Tavernier to the far post. Joe Hart punches it away. Has there been a push? Nope. It's going to be corner kick. Could he have caught that? Or,
I've got no gripe with that. He maybe doesn't know what's behind him. Take no chances.
Yeah.
Make sure you clear the danger. Let everyone regroup, and you defend again. And Barisic normally puts in a really good ball.
Here's Barisic who'll whip it in. 49 minutes gone. Borna Barisic then standing over the ball. Who are the options? There's Tillman. A lot of movement in the box. Kind of Goldson's there. Morelos. Here's the ball into the box, headed away by Kyogo. Would you believe, who's back defending?
Amazing. He's in at the front post, and it was his head that cleared the danger.
And it's up over the halfway line. So James Tavernier just knocks it back to Alan McGregor. Jota tries to run down the ball, but it's easily played out to the right to Glenn Kamara for Rangers. Plays it forward, but good play by Celtic by McGregor. McGregor to Jota. Poor ball though, Andy.
It was a brilliant tackle from McGregor just to put Celtic on the attack, and he's lost out in this one. Rangers on the attack here.
Rangers coming forward. Malik Tillman goes 10, 20, 30 yards. Knocks it in for Ryan Kent. He's going to try the shot. Great chance. Oh, hits Cliff of the post. Chance for Rangers. Into the side netting. That should have been Sakala's chance, Barry.
Yeah, listen, I don't think Ryan Kent connects with it perfectly, but it's down to the left hand side of Joe Hart. Sakala's got to hit the target there.
He's got to score.
He's got to at least hit the target.
I know it's tight, Barry, but there's enough.
No, 100%.
And the ball's not moving fast, and I don't think you can blame the pitch. He's a first yellow card of the afternoon, and
you caught me in mid-flow. I was halfway through a bit of mistake by Paul.
How is the steak by? Good. Sorry, Barry, I didn't realise, but yeah.
It's a good break by Rangers. Tillman's drove 30 or 40 yards with the ball. He's played a square pass to Ryan Kent, who, as I said, he's not connected with brilliantly, but it's come off the post. But Sakala, for me, has got to put that in the back of the net.
Great chance. An out-and-out striker, Andy, would have expected to score there for Rangers. Still 1-0 Celtic, 51 minutes gone. The ball up over the halfway line. Celtic playing left to right as we watch from the main stand as Jota just dinks it forward to Aaron Moy. Moy back to Jota. Jota's got Kamara with him. Ben Davies as well gets to the byline, plays it in, looking for Maeda, looking for Hatate, but it falls for Alistair Johnson. But Glenn Kamara does well. But there's Cameron Carter-Vickers who gets up above Morelos. A push in Morelos. It's going to be a free kick.
Is he given a foul there? I thought he won that cleanly. But we've just seen the one yellow card just a couple of minutes ago. A Lundstrom challenge on Maeda. And thankfully Nick Walsh hasn't shown any cards like confetti this afternoon.
No confetti, Barry. He is doing well. Just on pie watch here as well. But yeah, the referee's been good. Yeah.
Let's just hold it. He's done fine. There's still plenty of time left in the game, but they're just obviously Alistair Johnson's got back towards his goal. Morelos, there's no need for him to foul there.
As the ball comes up over the halfway line, Kyogo, the scorer for Celtic, just before half time, the only goal of the game, plays it to Hatate. Hatate out to Jota via Johnson into the box, turns, checks, looks back, still Jota towards the byline, comes off. Barisic is going to be a corner kick.
I'm a wee bit disappointed in that. I think he had him beat a couple of times.
Yep.
And look at him, he's got 5 options inside the box, 5 teammates.
Yep.
And Barisic does well to eventually get the block, but you'd have wanted a better end product there from Jota.
And Postecoglou will be looking for more, but here comes the corner kick. So Aaron Moy, the Australian international, right-footed to the near post, but no takers, and it's swept away, as Archie would say, by Glenn Kamara. Falls for Greg Taylor.
Everybody back for Rangers, so it allows Taylor just to get it easily. He's playing it forward with a long ball. Not something you're used to seeing Celtic do. Normally they like to just play it around and try and frustrate Rangers. They're doing it again here. And their possession and their passing, I think, has been really good.
Celtic 1 up, 53 minutes gone. The goal came in 44 minutes from Kyogo Furuhashi, his 23rd of the season. But Starfelt and Carter Vickers play the ball down the left. Hatate can't collect the ball there, but wins the throw in just midway inside the Celtic half. Barry, what are you thinking so far? Rangers beginning to press here as Joe Hart's forced
I still
to clear.
think they need to get closer,
yeah,
Paul. I still think they can get 5 or 10 yards further up the pitch. Stop Celtic for dominating the ball. That's what they've done in the first half, and they need to try and stop it in the second half if they've got any way of getting back into the game.
It's going to be free kick to Rangers, taken by the captain James Tavernier. Plays it back to Conor Goldson, almost the vice captain of the club. He plays it out to the left to Borna Barisic. Barisic just plays it forward, looking to bring in Ryan Kent, but it's cut out, and Celtic now coming forward. Jota forward to Reo Hatate. Hatate switches the play back for Aaron Moy. Moy plays it across the left, but Andy can run out of legs. It's still in play. No, it's gone out.
The picture I had in my mind was of Moy just trying to go for the dipping volley, but too heavy in his cross. But Celtic's still on the attack here.
Chance for Maida, for Jota. It fell, in fact Kyogo, but it's cleared by Rangers. Sustained pressure, Andy, by your old team.
Yeah, they're desperate for that second goal. I think it'll give them a cushion so they can play their football, play their possession, frustrate Rangers, tire them out. But they're still knocking it around with a great deal of confidence.
55 minutes gone. Here comes Hatate bursting into the box. Cleared though by Ben Davies. Barry, Rangers under a bit of pressure here. It's going to be taken quickly by Alistair Johnson. Johnson to Maida. Flicks it back to Moy. Moy back to Johnson. That's good play by Malik Tillman, back supporting the defence. And Barisic chips it upfield, but it's well collected by Callum McGregor.
Great awareness from McGregor just to find Greg Taylor and acres of space there.
Maida beaten by Tavernier. Good play by the Rangers captain, but it's a poor ball, and Celtic come forward.
Well, that was better for Tavernier initially, because he was close to Maeda, not giving him an inch to turning the ball, but then obviously his ball into Ryan Kent's fell pretty short.
Here comes Hatate. Hatate for Jota. Ball's in the back of the net. Celtic are 2 up. Kyogo gets on the end of it. 56 minutes gone. Celtic 2 up against Rangers. Kyogo, goal number 2.
Kyogo's going to get all the headlines, but honestly, Callum McGregor in the middle of the park there, and then just the sharp, incisive passing. And Celtic deserve this. I think they've been really good. It's a problem for Michael Beale. I think he has to turn to his bench right now for the last 35 minutes. But look at McGregor here. That pass into Aaron Moy is a killer pass, and then it's Hatate finding his fellow countryman, and that's where he is. Kyogo right in the heart of the 6-yard box. Barisic can't get near him, and there's a vital touch for a
Well,
2-goal advantage.
Celtic's goal, there's 3 central midfielders. McGregor, he's been allowed to drive with the ball 10 or 15 yards, where you've got to stop him. He plays it into Moy plays it to Hatate, and obviously Kyogo with the finish. Giving Celtic midfield far too much room.
Goal number 24 of the season for Kyogo. What a signing he's been, Andy.
He's been absolutely terrific, and I didn't know anything about him, but he has shown that he's more than capable of handling Scottish football, handling big games, scoring in the big occasion. He got 2 against Hibs in a previous League Cup final. He's got another 2 here, and unless Rangers get a goal back quickly, Celtic could go on and get another goal or 2.
As Rangers come forward, edge of the box, Morelos tried to get round the Celtic defender, but Barry, we're nearly at the hour mark. 57 minutes, Celtic 2 up. I know you said changes at half time.
I'm surprised he's not turned to the bench straight after Kyogo had put that into the back of the net. Celtic are dominating the game, there's no doubt. And as I said, I think games are won and lost in the middle of the pitch. I'm not just saying that because I was a central midfielder myself.
You said that before a ball was kicked.
Yep.
How that would play out, and I think that's where Celtic have dominated. They're much more composed, Barry. Short passing, just keeping it moving.
Referee,
I used the word at the start of the second half, Andy. It just looked more streetwise in the middle of the pitch.
Glenn Kamara gets a yellow card, second of the afternoon. It was John Lundstrom about 10 minutes ago. Just seeing it again, Hatate in. Kamara just a little bit late, got there as soon as he could, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, no complaints to Nick Walsh. Rangers are just trying to get a bit closer. I think there's an element of frustration in Kamara's challenge there, but Celtic won't be bothered about that. They're the ones who are, controlling the ball, short passing, width of the pitch, wee bit of imagination in other areas, and defended so well. What has Joe Hart had to do? Absolutely nothing.
Carter Vickers had the clearance for Celtic at Rangers' best chance. As Morelos breaks for Rangers, comes to Joe Hart. Clears it again, but not too confidently, Barry.
Ryan Kent with a ball over the top, trying to use Sakala's pace. Joe Hart, to be fair to him, he identifies the problem and he comes out, but his clearance is a bit wayward. Allows Rangers to have a throw in.
You'd be watching the bench now, wouldn't you, to see when Rangers make the change. And Andy, will Celtic make any change, or does he keep it going at just now 2 up?
Yeah, Celtic will definitely make a good number of changes, because he always does it. He always likes to, Ange Postecoglou likes to say to his squad, you'll be involved, you'll get 20 minutes, you'll get half an hour. And I've no doubt he'll do it again.
Is there another goal in it, Barry, at least? Rangers going to come back, do you think?
Well, if there's another goal, Rangers need to get that next goal, and it needs to be soon, in the next 5 or so minutes. And as I said, I can't see if anybody's out doing a warm-up, or whether Michael Beale's thinking he maybe making a change. I think he needs to freshen it up a wee bit. Now Tillman,
good ball through.
He's got to shoot there.
Yep, but he doesn't.
He's got to have a pop on goal there.
He plays it to the right, looking for Tavernier, but Tavernier's got his back to goal. That was a chance, Barry, for Rangers.
Yeah, he's got acres of room inside the Celtic 18-yard box, and again, just have a, I know he's predominantly right-footed, but just have a swing in it with your left foot, and you never know. Listen, if it's not your strongest foot, try and make the goalkeeper work. Was that off the post there?
I don't think so.
I don't think
it wasn't his best cross, but
so it's Borna Barisic, Andy.
I did think the same as you, Barry. I thought it might have dropped in at the far
There's
post.
a triple change.
You're seeing a triple change for
Raskin,
Rangers.
Jack and Cantwell. Barry coming on. Is it too late, or is there still time? 60 minutes gone.
Yeah, there's still time, Paul. There's still half an hour. That's the midfield 3. I think he's bringing the 3 off centrally. Lundstrom, Kamara and Tillman, and he's going to bring on Ryan, Jack, Raskin and Cantwell.
Andy?
Well, you saw the goal again there, and the pass from McGregor into Moy, and Moy's pass into Hatate inside the box was absolutely terrific.
Here come Rangers coming forward. It's Rangers 0, Celtic 2 in the League Cup final as Kyogo.
I think Celtic are also capable of, if there is a good spell for Rangers, I think Celtic can be quite happy to sit deep and have the pace of Jota and Maida to hit on the break.
Here comes Tavernier for Rangers, 2 down, but up over the halfway line, looks up, plays it, trying to bring in Ryan Kent, but not enough on it. but it's still with Rangers. Back to Tavernier, midway inside the Celtic half. 61 minutes have come and gone as Rio Hatate loses out to Lundstrom, though. Lundstrom and Kamara, who probably will go off in the next minute or so, out to the right, played into the box from Fashion Sakala, who's also been quiet.
The delivery's got to be better for the wider areas.
No accuracy whatsoever there as Celtic clear down the left. As the teams come out at Wembley, something you've done, Barry, in a Wembley final. Andy, you've been at Wembley.
Been there for a playoff final and lost that with
remember.
Sheffield United. It was a sore one. David Hopkins, you remember him? With Palace? Scored a brilliant goal.
Barry, you won the cup there, that same League Cup, along with Birmingham against the mighty Arsenal.
Yeah, I remember the lead up to it. We were, in fact, the press weren't even interested in talking to.
Really?
Yeah, because it was Arsenal's cup. So that took the pressure off us. And we went into the game pretty confident, and we had a game plan. Obviously, if we went toe to toe with Arsenal, they had some fantastic football players. But Big Alec McLeish, the game plan, we worked on it throughout the week, and thankfully it worked in the end.
And the Blues won the cup. The Blues of Rangers have got a chance here with a free kick. It was a cross, came off the hand of Alistair Johnson. So referee Nick Walsh blew immediately. It's going to be James Tavernier just 10 yards in from the touchline, 10 yards in from, it's just outside the box actually, a couple of yards outside the box.
Got to fire this in with pace. Yep.
Here he comes, James Tavernier. Rangers, you can hear they've got Ryan Kent at the edge of the box. Let's see what's going to happen here. Taking his time to take it. 63 minutes have gone. James Tavernier comes forward, fires it into the far post. Chance for Rangers. It's in the back of the net. Rangers have scored.
Morelos.
Alfredo Morelos.
Yeah, I says Tavernier's delivery had to be spot on. He's whipped it in with a fair bit of pace, and it's landed at Morelos, and it's a good finish, to be honest with you.
Looked as though it might go past Andy. That was the slight hesitation. Barry, there it is, false for Morelos.
He's had a slight push on Aaron Moy, but I don't think it's enough to have a foul. And to be fair, it's a good finish. Split second decision he's had to make. He's got it on target, and it's got Rangers back into the game.
It's Morelos at his best. There's no foul there on Aaron Moy. I think Aaron Moy just completely misjudges it, and he gets a good angle on his shot. No complaints about Joe Hart. He gets a slight hand to it, but Morelos at his best there, getting a poacher's goal.
Game on, Andy, from Rangers' point of view. Celtic,
Celtic were in total control, and games change it. Rangers now have a lift as Jota goes off and Matt O'Reilly comes on.
What's happening there? As Moy as well. So Celtic also, in fact, they're getting the subs on ahead of Rangers. So we'll just tell you what's happening here. Here comes Matt O'Reilly on for Moy. So, and there's Lundstrom. Looks as though he's walking off, Barry. There'll be, 6 change. Rangers making that triple change we mentioned. The 3 subs are there. Cantwell, Jack and Raskin. Baptism of fire for him. We'll just see the Celtic bench in a moment or two. Well, Barry, 60 seconds, suddenly the game changes. Rangers back in at 2-1.
Yeah, the Celtic were dominant, but listen, goals change games, and as I said, they've got a good opportunity with a free kick. The delivery's been dangerous from Tavernier, and Morelos does what he does best, and that's put the ball in the back of the net. And that's a triple change that I thought he would have made. A fresh midfield 3 coming on. So looking forward to see how Raskin produces in the next 25 or so minutes, because as I said, I've been really, really impressed by him since he signed with Rangers.
Andy certainly keeps it going. I mean, the neutral will be saying that it's game on. Celtic's point of view, I mean, at 2-0, it's never over, but Celtic were dominating.
Celtic were dominating, but there's always that chance where you get a slight error of judgment. I think Celtic had that with Aaron Moy, and Morelos took advantage, and that's the guy you want in that position, to be able to take advantage. And
he's got to be stronger, Andy. Aaron Moy's got to be stronger in from the delivery from Tavernier.
Celtic have been strong defensively, but that was a mistake, and no complaints. You just need to make sure you absorb that disappointment and still play the good football and try and get a third goal.
Double from Kyogo and a goal for Alfredo Morelos means it's 2-1 to Celtic. Morelos, that's his third goal in 21 Old Firm games. As Rangers now have a spring in their step now, it's Tavernier plays it to Morelos, the scorer for Rangers. Morelos 30 yards out, goes across goal, looks up for some options. That's his captain Tavernier. Tavernier whips it into the box, but it's Cameron Carter-Vickers who clears as the ball falls for Raskin. We see him get his first touch, sweeps it out to the right for Sakala. Sakala gets round Greg Taylor, but the keeper Joe Hart did well there, Andy.
Yeah, he did. He was off his line smartly. Sakala, we know he's got that burst of pace, but Hart more than alive and alert to it. And I think it's so important now. Celtic just don't lose their rag, keep their composure, keep knocking the ball around, and look for that 2-goal cushion again.
I'm glad I did ask you, Barry, about 5 minutes ago, is there another goal coming up? And you said, well, it has to be for Rangers from your point of view, otherwise.
It had to be, but you can see it certainly gave Rangers a lift, no doubt about it. They look more in the front foot, and as I said, we're asking, come on, even just with having 2 or 3 touches of the ball, he's always looking to manipulate the ball, which I think Rangers badly missed, no doubt about that.
Callum McGregor breaking forward for Celtic. It breaks down the first time, but still opportunity to play the ball into the box. It's headed away by Connor Goldson. Goldson plays it out, doesn't fall for Matt O'Reilly, but it's still Celtic in possession. Johnson to Carter-Vickers, the US international player. He plays it forward to Kyogo. Kyogo to O'Reilly. O'Reilly sweeps it out to the right to Abada. Abada plays it in for O'Reilly. Back to O'Reilly. Abada tries to burst in, but Alan McGregor collects for Rangers. And Griggsy, as you call him, Barry, he's shouting instructions to his players, and they're back in this game, and he just throws it out to the right. The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. We've got Barry Ferguson and Andy Walker for the Viaplay Cup final. Andy, Celtic 2-1 up. It's changed in 5 minutes. Celtic
I think you'll have some Celtic supporters a bit nervy, because the last thing you want to do is give away a 2-goal advantage in a cup final. Rangers would be on the ascendancy, but in terms of the way the game's going, I mean, Celtic are still playing decent football, but you've always got to be wary of Rangers with a moment of magic.
You certainly are. As the ball falls for Carl Starfelt. How's he done for you?
Yeah, I think he's been okay. He's defended well. I think the best defender has been Carter-Vickers. Without him, I'm not sure Celtic would have the 2-1 lead. But they've made a couple of changes. Jota and Moy have gone off, and O'Reilly and Abada have come on.
That's the Rangers fans in the background who are, it's funny in football, when it's the big two, any game it can swing from one to the other. Celtic 2-1 up with, we're reaching 69 and a half minutes gone here in the League Cup final, the Viaplay final. Full house at Hampden, and thousands listening and millions watching around the world. Andy, you've got people watching in New York.
Big party in New York. It'll be a wee bit wary just now as Sakala comes on the attack.
Up over the halfway line. Callum McGregor goes with him. It's for Cantwell. Cantwell goes down. Is that a push? Referee Walsh says yes. Cantwell is writhing in some agony as it's going to be a yellow card. First one for a Celtic player.
Was it?
Just waiting to see.
Was
Andy.
it Greg Taylor that got the yellow?
Could be
Greg Taylor. Yeah, he gave the ball away in the halfway line. Sakala driving with the ball 30 to 40 yards, plays it into Cantwell. Yeah, and he buys the free kick. Perfect situation this for James Tavernier. This is his range, 25 yards. For Barisic, interesting to see what one takes it.
It's going to be the free kick to Rangers.
Got to be Barisic, eh? I mean, it
looks to me if Tavernier's taking the responsibility. Yep.
So 2-1 to Celtic with 70 minutes gone in the final at Hampden. Celtic looking to defend the cup they won just over a year ago, the League Cup, the first domestic trophy, for Ange Postecoglou. Barisic, his hands over his mouth. Tavernier's the same.
I don't know why I see so many players do this now.
How far out, Barry, would you? What was it? But yeah, 25 yards out, almost bang in front of goal.
It's a good distance. So, it gives you enough time,
whip it,
enough space rather to get a bit of
a reverse
pace
slow
on it.
Here from Tavernier.
A reverse.
Similar to your cup final goal.
Yep.
Yep.
Exact same position.
Exactly. Here we go. So Tavernier's over it. So too is Barisic. It's going to be Tavernier. Comes off a Celtic head. Joe Hart should collect, or he just punches it to
Strange.
safety. Yeah.
I thought he would have caught that. Joe Hart, he's punched it out for a corner. Watch it again. Oh, it's a strange one.
Strange decision. Yep. Here at 71 minutes gone. James Tavernier with the corner kick. And the near side. Up high into the box. Headed away by Matt O'Reilly, who came on for Aaron Moy. As Barisic, a poor ball, and it almost fell for Leila Bada, Andy, where he is lethal. In fact, Raskin.
He's done the right thing there, Raskin.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, get it in Rose's head. Don't take any chances. Try and be clever and get back into your shape.
CCV plays it back to his keeper, Joe Hart. Andy, what are you thinking now with the changes and 72 minutes gone? 2-1 Celtic.
I'm thinking I'm looking at Callum McGregor, and you just want these players to get a hold of the ball, try and control it again, try and control the game. Rangers have obviously got a lift. Sometimes you find an extra yard of pace because you're back in the game. I mean, Rangers look dead and buried at 2-0, but that goal has changed it, and then there's another mistake. Rangers trying to capitalise.
Cantwell plays it out to the right for Morelos. Morelos into the box, comes off a Celtic defensive boot, and it's cleared. Could go for a throw in for Rangers. Quickly taken. Celtic still quickly taken by Rangers. Morelos, he's wide, edge of the box, plays it back to Tavernier. Tavernier plays it infield to Ryan Jack. Jack plays it out to the right to Nicholas Raskin. It comes off Hatate. Hatate versus Raskin there, a bit of a battle. Goldson, lovely play by Goldson, takes two players out there, and it's Goldson forward, but it cannons off Callum McGregor.
Yeah, putting a bit of pressure on now. Rangers, they've definitely took a lift for getting that goal back. They're playing further up the pitch as well, Paul, a good 10 or 15 yards further up. There's a chance. Good knockdown for Sakala to Morelos.
And suddenly it's Rangers who are seeing more of the ball. Ryan Jack driving forward into the box. He's going to try a shot. Comes off a Celtic defence. Cleared by Greg Taylor. Tavernier was probably the last boot to touch it, or was it?
Yeah, I think Greg Taylor just getting on the end of a loose ball and putting it on to Tavernier, who gets himself into the box late. Might have been a better effort from Ryan Jack, but certainly Rangers are having their best spell of the game. The goal has given them such a lift.
And Ange Postecoglou, he'll be raging with that as we see a change coming shortly for Celtic. But Andy, the manager they looked to be not quite cruising, but they were in control.
Yeah, they were, and I just think sometimes you've got to credit the opposition. Rangers have got good players. They've got a good goal scorer in Morelos. A mistake from Moy. Morelos is onto it, and you need to just remain in control here.
And Rangers getting Cholak ready to come on.
Yeah, and don't be surprised that I've heard Michael Beale say this a couple of times, that he will go 2 up. So that this could be the time. What are we, 16 minutes to go plus
Barry
extra
Ferguson.
time. Yep, I think
Andy
Cholak.
Walker, Paul Cooney. It's the Viaplay Cup final. Ange Postecoglou there, as we see Michael Beale as well. Crucial moments in games. Rangers with the ascendancy now, Andy, you would say.
Yeah, definitely. Rangers are passing it a lot better. They're getting width to the game. He's got to do better there. I think Cantwell. But Celtic just need to get the ball under control and show their authority again.
Yep, Maeda there, was he bundled off the ball? It's going to be a free
kick. I think so. And I saw earlier the South Korean looked to be getting stripped. So I think maybe Kyogo has run his race, and they'll get the more physical striker on and see if that can make a difference.
I was going to say, how's he done for you, Kyogo? But he's got 2 goals.
2 goals.
Yeah.
So.
And Iwata as well.
Kyogo off. He's the one who's got the 2 goals.
Yep. The South Korean striker. We're just seeing the goals back here in Viaplay. That's Kyogo scoring just before half time, 44 minutes, and then in 55 minutes it was looking good for Celtic, and then Alfredo Morelos did so well. 64 minutes was gone. We've played 75.5 minutes as O comes on, and I see Hatate going off as well. So Iwata on for Hatate, and O coming on as well.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of Iwata. So it'll be really interesting to see how he copes. Morelos, absolutely gutted that he's off for Cholak.
Yeah, Barry. What do you
surprised,
feel?
Barry?
Yeah,
surprised. Yeah, he's not had his best of games, Morelos, but he's come up with the goal. He's come up with the big moment for Rangers to get them back into the game. And I would have liked to have seen him stay on and maybe go something different with two through the middle. But he's made the decision, like for like.
And his goal was typical Morelos, wasn't it? In the box.
Yeah, he's not had much change out of Starfelt and Carter Vickers this afternoon. But again, he does the hardest thing in the game, Paul. He scores goals, and that's what he's done. He's got Rangers back into the game.
Wow, the next 14 minutes. Are we heading for extra time, or will Celtic win it in normal time? Or will Rangers score 2 and win it in normal time? You'll find out here on the Go Radio Football Show. Paul Cooney with the legends Barry Ferguson and Andy Walker. League Cup final, Viaplay final. It's the ball.
See, this is where Celtic have lost it a bit. Their passing's a bit loose. Rangers are a bit more confident. And, maybe Celtic just need to dig in. There's, 15, maybe 20 minutes to go. Celtic, I think, have lost their grip on the game that they had pretty much for the majority of the first half.
As Rangers come forward, Carl Starfelt clears for Celtic. But it's going to be, you can just see Morelos going up the tunnel there.
Yeah, he's not happy.
No.
He's a wee boot at the drinks there. I'd be disappointed because, listen, you don't want to get took off in a final with 15 minutes to go. I don't mind seeing that. That tells me that he cares, Paul.
Here come Rangers again, Sakala, but the flag is up, offside. Barry, it's a huge game for the likes of Iwata to come on, and we've hardly seen them at all. To come into a game like this when you're 2-1 up, but the offensive has gone.
And that's why they're brought to the club to play games. It's the same with Rangers with Cantwell and Raskin. They need to play in these big games to see what they're all about.
Yep. Chris looking after us here in the studio. Do you want anything? Cup of tea, coffee, brandy?
No,
you all right?
Steak pie was lovely.
Is that good? Andy, you all right? Can you get
I'm
him?
good.
Do you want anything? You
There's
okay?
another yellow card.
Ben Davies.
Who has just come onto the pitch. He was involved in a challenge there with Davis, and he just barges in.
He really did, didn't he? I just saw the replay there. Yeah. So it was yeah. Here Ali saying it's silly there on Viaplay. Wow, what's going to happen in the next? You feel there's another goal, Andy, in normal time? Let's put it that way.
Well, let's hope not.
Yep. And Barry, surprisingly,
let's hope so.
Can we? Yes, we can. Right, here's Cholak down the right. Plays it for Sakala. Has he got the legs there? He would normally. It's going to be Carl Starfelt who plays it into touch.
And sometimes you need your defenders to come to the fore, Paul. You talk about Celtic going forward. There's another
chance for Rangers. Here's Sakala into the box, and it's gone past the post. But just ahead of that, there was a real chance there for Cholak.
Yeah, you need your defenders to be strong, and it looked as though Starfelt had made a bit of a mistake there. Ball coming in, it looks easy to clear, goes through his legs. I think it hits the hand there of Cholak, comes to nothing. But sometimes you need your defenders to come in with a big performance, and that will mean Starfelt, Carter Vickers. Look at that.
It's Celtic kamikaze defending, Starfelt, Joe Hart. But people say about it, nobody wants to talk about it. Oh no, they're fine, they've won every game, they've never lost. But Celtic under threat.
That's awful defending from Starfelt, who tried a little flick inside the box and almost gave the ball away again.
He's not good enough for that, and he's not.
Exactly. Do what you're good at.
Exactly.
Defend, pass it out wide, get it up the pitch. If it needs to go long, send it long.
Andy Walker and Barry Ferguson.
For me, defenders are there to do one thing, and that's defend.
Put it up
midfield and forward players are the ones that can play these sort of passes. Don't take any chances.
Celtic,
because what it'll do, it'll give Rangers a lift,
big time, for sure.
They can't string 5-6 passes together, Celtic, like they did in the first half. They were controlling the game, moving it really well, but they're giving it away after 2 or 3 passes.
And Andy, so 10 minutes to go. Do Celtic now try to see out the game? I don't think that's possible yet, is it?
No, they just want to have better control of it, and they obviously want to try and threaten Alan McGregor in this second half. I think they started the second half really well, but the game's turned totally since Rangers got that third goal to make it 2-1, to make it a bit more tight.
Celtic claiming a push there on O'Reilly, but referee Nick Walsh, who's had a good game, I think we'd all agree, says not play on, and it's going to be a throw in to Rangers. Michael Beale quickly throws it to Borna Barisic. Barisic plays it back to Ben Davies. Davies to Ryan Jack. How's Jack doing for you, Barry?
He's doing fine. 9 minutes to go, Paul. Rangers need to throw everything at this, and if that means going 1-on-1 at the back, they need to do it, because they need to get a goal to get back into this game.
Push there on Tavernier from Maida, so it's going to be free kick to Rangers just inside the Celtic half. Raskin plays it back into his own half to Connor Goldson, to the left foot of Ben Davies. Davies to Barisic. Abada coming forward, trying to chase it down, but the ball's played forward for the height of Cholak there. Cholak gets it to Raskin. Good touch by Ryan Jack. Rangers having the best spell of the game. They're 2-1 now. Celtic ahead. Ball's played in. Joe Hart takes it. Took a deflection there, took the sting out of it. So there's 8 minutes remaining plus stoppage, and Joe Hart just throws it out to Greg Taylor.
That is not Celtic's game, playing it long like that. He's got to be offside, surely.
Sure it will be.
Celtic are a better team, short passing, possession, and I thought it was actually a poor throw out from Joe Hart.
Awful casual, wasn't it?
Yeah, too casual. Allow your team to settle, kill the game.
Yeah, they're not chasing the game, so why so quickly? But here is Abada chasing down into the box. He's down. Is it a penalty?
That's outside the box. I think it's a dive.
It's a yellow card. Barry, you've got it right. Leil Abada, the Israeli international, showed real pace. Let's see it again.
Well, he certainly doesn't complain, Abada.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a dive. Yep.
Andy?
That's absolutely no problem with the referee. I've got no problem with him doing it, and I've got no problem with the referee showing that it's a yellow. My problem with that is that sometimes you look at it, pre-VAR, you would look at that retrospectively, and if it led to a penalty, you would get a 2-game ban. It's either a yellow card or it's not.
So yellow card, that's
yellow
fine.
Card, absolutely fine.
Yep. 7 minutes to go in the League Cup final. Rangers 1, Celtic 2. Barry Ferguson, Andy Walker. Are they? Yep. Well,
I get a wee sweat on here. I don't know whether it's that light has been turned on.
It is hot.
I just
in
positioned
here.
that there for you for the second half.
We're so sure that's his good side there. As Scott Wright gets ready to come on, and Haksabanovic gets ready to come on for Celtic. So,
well, he's a type of player. Scott Wright, I think, is the one with a bit of pace. He'll look to get in behind, but Haksabanovic is clever, skillful, ball control. He can keep it. He can beat a player. So just getting into what you would say at least 10 minutes left.
Yeah. Now's the time for Haksabanovic to show it, isn't it? What he's got. And some people say that they think he's one of the most talented players at the park, as Kevin Clancy allows him to go on.
Maida has gone off at the far side, and Haksabanovic on.
So 6 minutes, as you say, Andy, probably about 10 when we add for all the subs. As Scott Wright comes on, Barry, for Fashion Sakala. How's Sakala been for you?
He's did okay. I expected more. I don't think Rangers have used his pace enough. They've done it a couple of times in the first half and once or twice in the second half, but you've got to use his strengths, Sakala. His strength is not coming and linking up. His strength is getting in behind with his pace. He's done fine. Scott Wright seems to be a player that Michael Beale likes as well. The vast majority of the games Scott Wright has played or come off the bench. So this is a massive 6 or 7 minutes for Rangers.
And for Celtic as they come forward. Does well. Nice flick in to Matt O'Reilly, edge of the Rangers box, down the left to Haksabanovic, who's just come on to Greg Taylor. Taylor plays it in. Is that who's playing wide? Chance for Celtic. Player goes down.
Honestly, Paul, far too early to be trying to take it to the corner.
I was just thinking that myself.
There's about 10 minutes left. I think there'll be at least 5 minutes injury time.
5 to go plus stoppage, as Andy said, which probably will be about. So it's who is going to manage? Is it another goal in it, do you think, Barry? What do you feel?
That'd be some drama.
Yeah, I hope so.
Do you think there will be?
Yep, I hope so.
Andy? No, I don't think there will be.
Really?
I think it finishes 2-1.
It could go 3-1. It could go 2-2. Could be another goal. I think another goal to come. Either way, I think there's another goal in it. I don't know which way.
Time.
You fancy a bit of extra time, don't you?
Have you heard? You never know. Let's see. Barry Ferguson knows much more, as does
He's Alan
Andy
McGregor.
Walker. I saw it. Boots the ball away. Up. Quite rightly. So.
Well, somebody's got a match ball anyway.
Indeed, yeah. Under the coat. Celtic 2-1 up, 4 minutes to go, plus stoppage. As Rangers come forward, Raskin to Cholak. Cholak came on for Morelos 10 minutes ago, and it's going to be, in fact, it's a free kick. Was it? He was too low. The head was too low there. Let's just see it again. Oh, was it the boot was too high? Yep, Scott Wright was too. Yeah. Boot was too high. Head was too low. It's all double Dutch.
Head was too low.
There's Ange Postecoglou there on the camera.
And I think when you, I mean, once you get to the full-time whistle, I think Barry mentioned it earlier, just as long as you win. I mean, Celtic played well for the first, 50?
55.
Maybe 55 minutes. It's been Rangers' game, I think, since then. But you just want to go over the line now, whether you play better football or not.
Yep. 86 and a half, nearly 87 minutes gone, plus the stoppage. So James Tavernier, he's done well, Barry, hasn't he? In the second half, Tavernier better, plays it forward. Scott Wright looks lively. He scored in the cup final, didn't he? In May.
Great goal against Hearts,
against the Hearts. So Todd Cantwell plays it back to his captain, Tavernier to Jack. Jack, a quick, good 1-2 there. Raskin into the box. It falls. It fell badly there for
I think it fell perfectly for him. He miscontrolled it.
Yeah.
A better touch there, and he's got a shot and goal.
Rangers still coming forward. The ball just in the touchline below us here, midway inside the Celtic half, up towards the area, and it's Scott Wright. He's got two players on him, including Abada. It's going to be a throw into Celtic. 2.5 minutes.
That was a chance.
This is a big chance, Barry. Cholak and Barisic.
Let's see it.
Well, to be fair to Cholak, it came off Carter Vickers right in front of him. But Barisic had the time to get it under control.
Rangers 1, Celtic 2. 2 minutes remaining plus stoppage, which, Andy, you reckon? Well, all the subs probably 5 minutes.
I think about 5 minutes.
Yeah. You okay with that, Barry? 5 minutes? Should be.
I'd be happy with a bit longer.
Barry's saying half an hour as Rangers come down the left. Ryan Kent does that shift that he didn't do well.
How's he done today, Ryan Kent, Barry?
I want more. Andy, I'm really greedy with Ryan Kent. I expect more.
Here's Celtic coming forward. Haksabanovic, edge of the box, beats one. Haksabanovic, what a shot. Great save by McGregor. He can't hold it. Ball's gone past the post. Celtic claim. What are they claiming, Andy?
Well, they're claiming for a penalty, and I thought he could have done a bit better, Haksabanovic. He gets a shot away here with left. Great save from McGregor. And then there's a challenge there from Goldson. I think he was looking for a by kick, but Celtic will be happy with the corner because surely it won't go in the box. It'll be a short one now.
89 minutes, Barry.
They've not got Andy in.
Yeah, there's 5 Rangers players. Matt O'Reilly just saunters to that far side at the Celtic end.
Well,
of the ground.
You've no Carter Vickers going up. You've no Starfelt going up. The physical one you want is the South Korean just to take it into the corner. And Celtic will be killing a bit of time now.
Sure. Celtic players saying the Rangers players aren't 10 yards away. This will be a bit of a tussle down there. Rangers win the throw in. Obviously not what Celtic wanted at that moment. 89.5 minutes gone in the league. The Viaplay Cup final. Celtic leading by 2-1. The ball played all the way back to Cameron Carter-Vickers. Does it place it to Alistair Johnson? Johnson forward to Iwata. And Iwata clattered there, I think, by Ryan Kent. Andy, yellow card. Ryan Kent, I don't think any dispute. So, and Barisic as well.
Barisic a yellow card, involved with
complaining.
Johnson. We're just getting near the end where tempers are a bit short.
Yeah.
And you look here with Iwata knocking it forward. I think his boots high and yellow card, not a problem.
Because it's actually been played in pretty good spirit, hasn't it? Two really competitive teams.
I think the referee's had a decent game.
He has. I can't, complain about any decision he's made.
And there's been no VAR, has there?
Thankfully. Well, they obviously look at every goal, but there's no issues.
That's what I mean. Yeah, sure. The yellow card's still out. So someone else has been complaining. 4 minutes remaining. Andy, you got it wrong.
I thought there might have been a bit more than 4 when you consider the amount of subs. Normally you expect what? There's
30
another
seconds,
yellow
isn't
card.
it?
Yeah,
Was
of
that
course. Alistair Johnson.
Johnson and Barisic, maybe, or is it?
Barisic got it already. I'll just tell you in a second or
was the
two if
other
you
one?
keep. Yeah. So I'll tell you in a moment or two. But yeah, Johnson there. So 90, in fact, 91 minutes gone. There's 4 added on, probably from now. Matt O'Reilly stands over the ball for Celtic, plays it to the corner flag. Oh, chases it, tries to keep it in, slips. It's going to be a throw in to Rangers, just a couple of yards in from the corner flag here on the main stand, the south stand of that famous old stadium, Hampden Park. Who is going to win this League Cup final? Celtic 2-1 up, deep into injury time. 91 and a half minutes gone. Barry, what are you thinking?
Yeah, a wee bit of needle between Jack and Callum McGregor.
McGregor's
I think he's
gone
hurt
down.
himself here. Yep.
No, I think he's just playing the game here. Captain, kill the game, kill a bit of time, go down. I don't know if he wants to get treatment because it means he'll need to go off. So he'll get back on his feet shortly.
Celtic took the lead in 44 minutes, just a minute to half time. Kyogo unchallenged in the box, and then in 55 minutes he doubled his tally and Celtic's lead. 55 minutes, but then 9 minutes later Alfredo Morelos made it 2-1. The subs were thrown on in huge numbers. The entire midfield of Rangers was changed. Raskin, whom Barry had been calling for, came on. And it's been, well, Rangers have had more of the play, haven't they, Barry, I would say, since then, since the goal.
Certainly since they got the goal back. Rangers have done a lot better. I think up until 60 minutes, I think Andy pointed it out a few minutes ago, Celtic definitely dominated. But the last 25 or so minutes, Rangers have been certainly better.
Go Radio Football Show, Macklin Motors. Is there more drama to come as Ryan Kent forges down the left? He's tackled.
Brilliant tackle. Kent was away, and that would have been a big chance. Great timing there from Johnson, because he had to be sure.
He's been good, hasn't he?
He has
Andy?
been good.
Yeah.
I think he's fitted in really well. You know, Juranovic was a big player for Celtic, but he has he's been really good.
As Celtic play the ball forward all the way to Alan McGregor. He just chests it calmly just outside his box, and he thumps it 70 yards up over the halfway line. Alistair Johnson nods it out, and Scott Wright were going to take the throw in, but he leaves it for his captain, James Tavernier. Tavernier plays it back to Ben Davies. Who's going to win this title? I'll give you all the facts and figures, how many trophies at the end when Chris finds it for me. As Celtic come forward, 93 and a half minutes gone. Haksabanovic tackled by Cantwell. Must be a great save from O'Reilly. What a save by Alan McGregor. Should have been a goal for Celtic. Alan McGregor though saves him.
Yeah, I think O'Reilly's trying to give him the eyes, but Alan McGregor's stood up down to his left hand side. It's a great save by Alan McGregor. Celtic on the counter attack. I think that was a foul.
Canwell got a yellow for that.
Yep.
But I think it's a right-footed finish, and I think he should score. I mean, maybe Celtic will see it out now, but that was a big chance for O'Reilly.
He's trying to give him the eyes here.
Yeah, I think so.
It's all but over. That was some chance. If Rangers were to score now, they would be ruining that chance there. It's going to be short corner kick taken by O'Reilly right down at the near side as the referee is calling for a throw-in for Rangers. We've played 94 minutes 25 seconds in the Viaplay Cup final, but the ball headed forward to and fro as Rangers come forward. Is it the last chance? Yep. Cholak, Cantwell, Todd Cantwell for Rangers down this left hand side. Alistair Johnson's there. It's going to be a throw-in for Celtic. 94 minutes. Funny how if you're...
He's a good athlete, Alistair Johnson.
Yep. You've been impressed by him.
Been a good World Cup, Barry, and playing for Canada, and he's settled in so well. Speaks really well the first time. Kyogo's got the smile. He thinks he's done it.
He is smiling. 95 minutes have come and gone in the League Cup final, the Viaplay final, as Karl Starfelt heads it up towards the halfway line as it all falls for Haksabanovic.
What's going on?
Haksabanovic 1-1, charges down on the Rangers goal. Great chance for him, must score. He's screwed it past the post. What a chance for Haksabanovic. Andy Walker.
I can't believe he didn't score. I mean, hit the target. Just astonishing. What the chances for O'Reilly and Haksabanovic there. Can't ask for anything better. But it's in the right half of the pitch for Celtic.
I don't know what Raskin and Ben Davis is doing there. Just put your foot through the ball. Somebody needs to take responsibility there. Allowing Haksabanovic in the way through, he does well, gets past Golson, but again, I think he does make it. Alan McGregor does make it hard, but he's got to hit the target when he's going through and goal there.
96 minutes. There was 4 added on. They've played an extra 2. Nick Walsh. That's it. The whistle is gone. Celtic retain the League Cup, the Viaplay Cup. Here at Hampden today, Rangers 1, Celtic 2. Andy Walker.
I think Celtic deserve it. I mean, I credit Rangers for the last half hour, but Celtic got the job done. They scored 2 goals. They controlled the vast majority of the game. Rangers were scrambling at the end, but I think the better side won.
Barry Ferguson.
Yeah, I think Michael Beale will be disappointed with the first 60 minutes or so. Once Morelos got that goal, certainly Rangers come into the game and put a bit of pressure on Celtic. And then obviously the last few minutes Celtic missed a few opportunities through Matty O'Reilly and Haksabanovic. But I think overall Rangers just didn't do enough, Paul, unfortunately.
So it's Celtic's 7th League Cup win. Rangers went in with 9 League Cup wins. So in the 17 meetings of the big 2 in the League Cup final, Andy, it's one that eluded you, but it's fast becoming a favourite with the Celtic fans.
Yeah, I think, well, it sets Celtic up. There's only one team that can do a treble now, and Celtic are in pole position for the league. The Scottish Cup quarter-finals are coming up thick and fast. Celtic will, no one will speak of it, but Celtic will have their eyes on another treble, led by Callum McGregor, who's enjoying it in front of the Celtic fans.
Look what it means for him, Andy. You can see there the way he's roaring.
Brilliant captain.
Yep.
Brilliant captain. Connor Goldson applauding the Rangers fans, but I think when you look at the 90 minutes again, I just think Celtic were the better team over the piece.
Barry, you'd agree, over the piece Celtic deserved to win?
Yeah, as I said, I think they got to grips with the game quicker than Rangers did. They dominated, certainly, as I said, we spoke about it, always look at the central areas, and I thought Callum McGregor had Tati and Aaron Moy dominated certainly that first 60 minutes or so, and that's an area where I'm sure Michael Beale will be disappointed. When you look at obviously the 3 that played in there, Lundstrom, he's been out for a couple of weeks. Kamara was probably a surprise, as a lot of people thought Raskin would have played, and obviously Tillman missed a couple of weeks through injury as well, but that's no excuses. At the end of the day, listen, it's a sore one for Rangers, a sore one, and they need to move on quickly. They're 9 points behind in the league, Paul. That was always going to be tough. They're in the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup. Andy mentioned it, Celtic now are on for the treble, and Rangers need to try and stop that.
0808 17 17 700. We'll take a few calls after the game as Celtic retain the League Cup, the Viaplay Cup. Andy Walker is here, Barry Ferguson, and we're on the socials at Go Football Show, or you can call us on 0808 17 17 700. Andy, there's Kyogo and the Celtic players with that usual celebration.
He loves to lead the celebrations. He's got a great relationship with the Celtic fans. He's got a couple of goals in this final, got a couple of goals in the one against Hearts a couple of years ago. I think Carter Vickers was a huge player for Celtic as well, and I just think for the first hour, I think they set the tone, got themselves in front. Absolutely credit Rangers for the last half hour, but you're asking them to do too much to claw back a 2-goal deficit in half an hour.
They wobbled for a period there, didn't they? But then it could have been.
Looked good, and they maybe passed up a couple of half chances, but Celtic deserve it.
Man of the match for you? I can see Carter Vickers just about to be interviewed.
The only guy who will get the man of the match is Kyogo. He got the 2 goals, but Carter Vickers here, I thought he was outstanding. And Celtic need big, strong defenders capable of playing well in big games, and he's your man.
He's a colossus, Barry, isn't he? Carter Vickers.
Yeah, he made that great challenge in the first half when Tavernier has played a great ball across. And he's been up there alongside Callum McGregor as probably Celtic's most consistent player.
Connie's on interviewing him there. You can call Barry and Andy 0808 17 17 700. What did you think of the Scottish League Cup final, the Viaplay Cup final? Man United and Newcastle United are 0-0 after 31 minutes. Rashford is playing, but Newcastle still very much in it. But here, there's Ange Postecoglou, Andy, out there, just hand on heart as he does. He pumps the heart, and a couple of the fans coming over.
Well, what
He'll
an
be loving
absolute, yeah, what an absolute transformation since he came in. His signings, I mean, Kyogo, not to mention anyone else, but Kyogo, Carter Vickers, actually getting Carter Vickers to sign longer term. I mean, that was a big investment in one player, but I think it's so important to get players that you can rely on, and Celtic can rely on Carter Vickers at the back and Kyogo up front.
Barry, I think you can see relief almost in the face there of the manager, Ange Postecoglou.
A bit of aggression there. Well, listen, when you win things, you've got to celebrate. I see Michael Beale's got all the Rangers players and the staff in, having a chat with them, and he'll be disappointed. I think overall he'll be disappointed. Certainly, as I said before, with the first 60 or so minutes, they just couldn't get a grip of the game. Rangers, they had a pop the last 25 or so minutes once Morelos got that goal back, but it was a bit too late.
Man United have scored. I saw the close-up on Casemiro. I missed the actual goal, but we'll see what happened. Man United 1-up. It could be Casemiro. I'll tell you in a moment or two as Jota is being interviewed. And then there'll be the Cup presentation. Of course, Andy, both teams stay out, Rangers stay. It's unusual, you don't normally see that, but Michael Beale's there. That's his first defeat as manager.
Listen, I'm sure he'll say that there's nothing between the teams. I think there is. I think Celtic are better. I think that's where you got the confidence from the Celtic fans. And I think for an hour Celtic showed their dominance, their control. They got the 2-goal advantage, and absolutely Rangers the better side for the last half hour, but Celtic had 2 goals to defend.
As Rangers go up for we'll take a quick break and then we'll have the Cup presentation next.
The Go Radio Football Show with MacklinMotors.co.uk. Your local friendly experts for new and used cars.
Let's go! There's a new name for Toyota in Lanarkshire.
From one of the UK's biggest names in motor retail.
Macklin Motors Toyota is now open in Hamilton.
We're bringing you everything Toyota, backed by first-class service.
So come and view the stunning new Toyota range, all with up to 10 years warranty.
Including the Aygo Cross and the new Yaris Cross compact SUV.
See our great choice of approved used Toyotas.
Our formidable range of commercial vehicles, including the Hilux.
Get expert servicing from our manufacturer-trained technicians.
And specialist advice from our Motability team.
Macklin Motors Toyota is open now
at Whistlebury Road, Hamilton.
There's a new name for Toyota in Lanarkshire.
From one of the UK's biggest names in motor retail.
Macklin Motors Toyota is now open in Hamilton.
We're bringing you everything Toyota, backed by first-class service.
So come and view the stunning new Toyota range, all with up to 10 years warranty.
Including the Aygo Cross and the new Yaris Cross compact SUV.
See our great choice of approved used Toyotas.
Our formidable range of commercial vehicles, including the Hilux.
Get expert servicing from our manufacturer-trained technicians.
And specialist advice from our Motability team.
Macklin Motors Toyota is open now
at Whistlebury Road, Hamilton.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. New Toyota showrooms now open in Glasgow and Hamilton.
Let's go!
Celtic coming forward now for the medals, and then the Cup presentation well and truly underway. If you're tuning in, it's Celtic who win the League Cup, the Viaplay Cup this afternoon, 2-1, a double from Kyogo, and it was Morelos who pulled one back for Rangers. They're receiving the medals, Andy. Barry's here as well. Special moment, the Rangers players got their medals, but the runners-up won. They're back up the tunnel and the Rangers fans are leaving. Special moment for, well, every one of the Celtic players assembled by Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, I mean, in my day, the captain went up and then passed the cup along. I think now they want every single player up in the podium, and Callum McGregor won't raise that trophy until everyone's there. I don't know who he's waiting on here, but I think he knows they've been the better side, I think, for the majority of the game, and I think deserved cup winners. He's won the manager. He come up. I think he's waiting on Ange Postecoglou.
He's there. He's just got his medal now. He's there in the suit as the trophy is handed. That famous old trophy to Callum McGregor, and who kisses the cup, raises it, and Celtic are the Viaplay League Cup winners 2023. Andy, special moment for them.
Always great to lift a trophy in front of your own fans. I think they've deserved it. They've got some special players there, and I think there's a hunger about this team. They want to go on and huge favourites to get the league title as well, and they'll want to get the Scottish Cup, and I think they deserve this trophy.
Favourites obviously on course for a double. The league's not over, we know it's not, but they're 9 points plus the goal difference ahead. Barry, tough one for Rangers, but as our commentator, you'd pay tribute to the job Ange Postecoglou has done. You've always said that. It's been remarkable.
Yeah, you've got to be impressed for the squad he's assembled. He's brought in players that I don't think many people knew of, and he's certainly improved Celtic as a football team. For Rangers' point of view, it's a sore one.
Yeah.
You need to take it on the chin, and what they need to do is dust themselves down and make sure they come back for the next game firing on all cylinders.
You know what it's like, Barry, with all the journalists. What did you think of the comments from Sakala? They're the best team in Scotland, and the Celtic players can speak now. And he looks a bit foolish saying daft things like that.
Ange Postecoglou got a huge cheer there. You can hear it in the background in Viaplay. They absolutely love him, don't they, Andy? And the question will be, they want to keep him for a long time in Scotland as manager.
Yeah, he's been linked with Leeds job, Southampton job, Everton, Brighton. They've all gone this season, but I think there's a hunger from Ange Postecoglou just to have a bit more success at Celtic, maybe rack up a few trophies and try and get one or two notable victories in Europe in the Champions League, because it looks as though they're heading for the Champions League for next season.
I think for Rangers' point of view, Michael Beale still knows there's a fair bit of surgery needed done to this Rangers team. He certainly improved them from coming in, no doubt about that, but he knows it's a big summer ahead in terms of bringing better quality players into Rangers to make sure they're winning trophies again.
2-0 Man United. The Casemiro goal stood a few moments ago, so Man United, and it looks as though it's the
Rashford
man himself
with the help of a deflection.
He's an absolute fire,
isn't he?
Top
quality, isn't he?
Celtic now in the winner's rostrum, out on the field. Jota's loving it. He's looking this way, that way for the cameras. And Callum McGregor, he won't let that go, will he? As he handed it down the line, Callum McGregor with the
everybody's had a
trophy.
touch of it.
They've all had it.
These are just great moments, and they'll enjoy it tonight, and then they'll go again for the game next week.
Yeah, I was always a big believer in that. It could be your last trophy, and make sure you make the most of it, and certainly did. The night of the game and the day or two after as well. And
they could only throw away a double, with the 9 points plus 26 goal difference. I'll tell you, Andy, he won't be cancelling the dinner reservation tonight. I read that last year he had some of his closest friends home from Australia for the cup final. He didn't turn up. He said he just couldn't go.
The other thing is, as well as Rangers played for the last half hour, there's still that doubt in Rangers' mind. Can they get the better of Celtic? And until Michael Beale does get the better of Celtic, then questions will always be asked.
They had some chances as well, though, Rangers, after Morelos getting the goal. And you see the handful that he is, Barry, he can always create.
I thought he had a pretty quiet game, if I'm being honest, Paul. He scored his goal. You could see he wasn't too happy when he was getting taken off. And again, a lot of people make a lot of that. I would rather see a player upset when he's getting took off, rather than just saunter up to the bench and put your coat on and not bother. But in terms of Rangers as a whole, they just didn't do enough in the game to unfortunately win the cup.
0808 17 17 700. Andy from Springburn is on. Andy, good evening.
How you doing, boys? You okay?
Yeah, we're fine, thanks, Andy. You're a Rangers fan. How are you feeling? How disappointed?
Upset, to be honest, Paul. I can't really complain with the result, just purely because the way we set up in the first 60 minutes, I can understand it to a certain point. I think the way we set up was, if you watch the game, I think Mick Beale was probably thought, let Starfelt have the ball to a certain degree, purely because his distribution isn't the best. I get that, understand that, but in a one-off game, if you're the new Rangers manager, go and have a go at them. 90 minutes of football, it's a cup final.
What team would you have started with, Andy?
Well, Barry, you're a centre mid. totally got to go with Raskin. Raskin's got to start for me. Either Lundstrom or what's his face? Kamara. Either one of them. It's got to be Raskin.
Sure.
And I totally understand the boys are new signing. I get to 21, but the boys, when they come on, you see the difference straight away. Really positive, aggressive, good on the ball. Barry, you appreciate a good centre mid.
Andy, I said that I was surprised that he didn't start him. I think he's only been here a short period of time, but I've seen enough of Raskin to say that he would have handled this occasion no problem at all today. So that was the surprise for me. Kamara playing instead of Raskin, and I'm sure Michael Beale will have an interview after the game and explain his reasons why.
But Barry, you were 16. I was there when you made your debut against Hearts in the 1990s. 16-year-old. You had 5 years on the guy. You sorted on. I mean, your top was far too big for you, but what a game he had.
I remember.
Have a bit of confidence in your boys. I generally think he's going to be a really good player for us. So you need to look forward.
I think Barry grew into that strip a wee bit.
In every way.
I go fitting at no bother these days.
Yeah.
Well, you try to say I put a bit of weight on, like.
Fit as a fiddle. So, Andy, what would you say then to the manager? But in some ways, right, you were desperate. You really wanted to win it, obviously.
Yeah.
The plus side, is it that the manager, and everyone can see, Rangers need major surgery. He started it, you know, he's brought in, Raskin, for example. You know, Tillman, do you need to sign him permanently?
100%. Tillman's an absolute no-brainer for me, Paul. But the thing is, for me, if you're coming into the Rangers manager and you're signing Raskin, you're signing Cantwell, go make that your team then. Go and start in the cup final. This is the new look Rangers. Go and do that. Let's say to Celtic, this is the new Rangers. Younger, better, fresher, more aggressive. Go and do that. That was a chance today for me.
Andy Walker, what do you think?
I think Andy makes a good point. Had Rangers gone with their new signings, Cantwell, Raskin, from the start, and it didn't work, you could say, look, this is the road we're going down. These are the players that I'm going to trust. Whereas now you think, why didn't you play those players you were desperate to get in January? Were you too wary of how Celtic might control the game? And that's the way it looked for the first hour. Celtic were by far the better side, and with a 2-goal advantage, so difficult to claw that back, albeit Rangers were the better side for the last half hour.
Yeah, definitely, I totally agree with that. But it's interesting, Barry, you mentioned about Raskin there. You were obviously a very, very good centre mid for Rangers. How do you rate him? What's your opinion of him in the first kind of cut of games?
Yeah, just in a short period of time I've seen him. I just like a central midfielder who goes and demands the ball, and that's what Raskin has shown me, certainly in the games that I've seen him. He's played 290 minutes and he's played, I think, a 15 or a 20 minute to come on. I thought last week against Livingston he was very good, and I was more than confident he was going to start. I just think he's a player that Rangers have needed since Steve Davis obviously get the injury, and obviously Devil's getting a bit older. He's a guy who can go and control the tempo of a game. I think he's going to be a cracker. He's only 22 as well. I think in time he will become a top Rangers midfielder.
And yet, Andy, you probably need another top keeper. Although Alan McGregor today, if he hadn't been playing, what would that have been at the end? 4-1.
100%, Paul. I mean, I can think off the top of my head 2 unbelievable saves the guys made. Brilliant. It's not only the saves though, Paul. You think about that experience, that kind of a natural born winner. I mean, Barry knows him obviously much more than any of us do in this goal, but you can't buy that, you can't teach that, you can't teach a winner. It's just born in you, isn't it? But just come back to Barry's point about Raskin. For me, he's definitely got a bit of the Barry Ferguson's about him. It's kind of like they're puffing the chest out, taking a bit of responsibility, demanding the ball, despite being in tight areas. If there's a guy up the backside, still demanding the ball, I love that. As a Rangers fan, you've got to love that. Because that's what it's all about.
Did you see enough of Cantwell today? Can we is it too early to say yet whether or not he is going to be a really good signing?
No, I mean, I've seen him a couple of games down, Paul, and I've liked his touches, his passes have been accurate. But I still think there's a couple of games on him yet before we see the proper Cantwell. Again, I was really surprised that it was the Cantwell or Raskin starting. That was a big surprise for me, because as we touched on there with the boys, if you want to look new at Rangers, today's the day to go and have a look at that. So that was it for me. But listen, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Final point for you. Right, you're never going to give up in the league, but realistically, what are you hoping for this season now?
A miracle, probably.
Yeah. And the Cup, Scottish Cup.
Yeah, of course, Scottish Cup. Yeah, look at that again. All we can do is keep winning. First defeat under Beale, you have to say the guys are unbelievable. It's a kind of change of mindset, which has been good to see. Paul, just and I apologies to change the kind of subject here, but I met you in the kilt walk.
Oh,
I think it was the Edinburgh kilt walk. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Excellent.
Absolute gentleman.
Oh, thank you, Andy.
You told me to phone in, so you said that I was a really good looking guy. Face not for radio but for television, so thanks for that, Paul.
Is that what I said? Can't believe it. I've had that all my life, don't worry. It's an old guy. Tom Hunter probably said that. That's what he says of me all the time. Okay, Andy, listen, thanks for doing it. I do remember we spoke about it. What took you? That's about 7 months, and we'll see you at the Kilt Walk hopefully this year. But Andy, listen, call in again. You made some good points. Cheers, Andy.
All the best.
Cheers, Andy.
Thanks very much. Andy, as you would imagine, it gutted, but positive about Michael Beale and realistic. They need investment, Barry.
Yeah, and as I said, Paul, I still think there is a bit of surgery needed done to the squad, and I think you'll see a number of changes again in the summer. January's always difficult, but he's brought in 2 players that he was desperate to bring in. He chased Cantwell, he chased Raskin. He's obviously trying to get the age of the squad down a bit. So I think Michael Beale's done a fantastic job since he's come in. That's his first defeat in 14 games? Is it 13, 14 games? So he's definitely come in, made a difference. But just listen, one-off games, Paul. You've got to admit Celtic were the better team the first 60 minutes. Rangers come in slightly, but overall Celtic did deserve to win the Cup.
My only questions were he's starting 11. That surprised me. And then taking Morelos off at that time.
Well, let's come to that.
Because he had scored a goal.
Sorry, let's come to that with Andy and Barry next.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Book your service, MOT or repair online today at macklinmotors.co.uk. Let's go!
So Celtic take the spoils. Congratulations to Ange Postecoglou and his team. Winners of the League Cup final this afternoon at Hampden. Viaplay Cup final. And the cup was presented to him where it's been for the last year. It's going back to the East End of Glasgow. 2-1 for Celtic. Kyogo, as you know, minute before half time, and then 10 minutes after the restart, 2-0. Looked as though, game's never over. In fact, Barry had just said it when Alfredo Morelos popped up and scored, bundled it in for Rangers, and then Rangers dominated for a time. Loads of changes, and that is one of the talking points. Why wasn't Raskin on earlier? But Andy, you wanted to say to Barry just before the break?
Yeah, the only questions I would have for the manager is, I was surprised at starting 11. I think when you highlight Raskin, when you speak so positively about Cantwell, when every ex-Rangers player I speak to said the squad needs surgery, and he's identified it, and the players look as though they've settled in pretty quickly, that would be my first question. Why didn't he start them? Because Celtic were the better team for the opening hour. And the other question I would have is, why would you take Morelos off when he just scored a goal and he was obviously up for trying to get an equaliser? He is your best bet of a goal.
He's a handful.
It came out of nothing. He just read the fact that Moy couldn't defend the ball. He got it under control, got it past Hart. Rangers are back in the game.
For Celtic, Andy, for your old team, it's another trophy. That's 3 trophies in just over a year's football. A year and a half.
I think the big difference between Celtic and Rangers is in both boxes. I think you've got a scorer there in Kyogo who's doing it time and time again, and there's no physicality about him. It's just movement. He's just feeding off crosses, right, left. He's always in the middle to finish. He could have had another one with a header. I thought that was a really good chance. And I think they had a man of the match performance almost in Carter Vickers, because when Rangers were on it and looked dangerous, he was the one who was leading defensively.
Yeah, if you take the double goal scorer out for you, Barry, would it have been Carter Vickers, Celtic's best player?
Yeah, they had probably 3 standouts. Celtic, I would say Carter Vickers, obviously Kyogo we getting his double, and I thought Callum McGregor in the middle of the pitch, and we highlighted it. I thought the first 60 minutes he kind of ran the show and dictated, in there, and that's where Rangers just couldn't get a grip in the middle of the pitch. And as I say, quite often, I think a lot of games are won and lost with the battle in there. And again, I'll go back to it. That's why I was really surprised that a player like Raskin never started the game. I watched the game last week, and again, I was very impressed by him. And he's a player that Michael Beale clearly liked and chased, and eventually got him. So yeah, I think overall Rangers will be disappointed with the level of performance they put out today, because I think they can play a lot better.
For Celtic, Andy, and for Barry, who are some of the standouts? Rio Hatate, much was said about him beforehand. Was it a quieter game from?
I just thought he was good. Celtic had most of the ball for the first hour. Good short passing. A couple of times he played it in behind, went long. But when you look at McGregor in the middle of the park, Aaron Moy, just the way when you see that first goal, McGregor driving, it's only 10-15 yards, but he's under a bit of pressure. He finds the pass to Aaron Moy, who in turn finds the pass to, I think it was Hatate who crossed it for Kyogo's goal. But that's where Celtic can be really good. They didn't go down the sides then, they went right through the middle and cut Rangers open.
Alistair Johnson impressed you, Barry? He's been a good buy.
Yeah, he's been a decent signing. Listen, had a very good World Cup with Canada, and he's come in. I mean, he gets through into the firing line with his first game was at Ibrox against Rangers. But he looks to me if he's been a very good signing for Celtic. Very athletic, gets up and down really well. So yep, he's been another good piece of business by Postecoglou.
Kyogo, he said 30 goals, but Andy, he's now 24.
He looks dangerous in every game, and not, as I've said before, doesn't really get involved a hell of a lot in the build-up, but he's always on the end of crosses. And one thing you get with a Celtic striker now with his movement, you get crosses from the right, crosses from the left. You look at the way that Maida got some balls in, Jota, and of course then you've got your fullbacks who are bombing forward all the time. So he gets the service, and he's happy to take the responsibility to score.
Did you enjoy?
I thought it was a good game. I thought it was a good occasion. 10 yellow cards. I don't think it sounds a dirty game with 10 yellows, but I've got no complaints about the referee. There was no great controversy. I think all the goals were quite rightly stood, and it was a good game. I thought it was some good football played.
And Barry, from your point of view?
I enjoyed the game, but obviously I didn't enjoy the result. I did expect a bit more from Rangers. It was a real good opportunity to go and lay a marker down. They didn't do that, as I said. I think overall Celtic were the better team. Be disappointed. They need to go away and lick their wounds and make sure they come back the same form that they've shown previous to this final today.
And Andy, that's good coverage. They've got Ange Postecoglou on the gantry there with them, with Emma and the rest of the guys. He has made such a difference in East. Who could have thought, in the summer of 2021 that this guy would come in and transform Celtic?
And he's got a good wee tagline of "We never stop." So you'll know that he'll want to get better players in the summer window. Try and make his mark in the Champions League. I think Celtic will retain the title. Whether or not they get the Scottish Cup and another treble is up for debate. But I think they deserved it today. And just the transformation around Celtic and the way they play football since he came in has been fantastic.
Yep, it's been Celtic's day today. Congratulations to them. For Rangers, they ran Celtic close. It's Michael Beale's first defeat, in no disgrace, Barry, will we finish with the Sakala stuff? No, it's kind of chat before games. It's on the park. Celtic better today, but Rangers ran them close. And a bit of investment, Barry. Rangers know, and that's why the manager's in here.
I think Michael Beale knows that. There's no doubt about it. Listen, he's brought in two very good players in January. They're still very good players at Rangers, but he knows he needs to strengthen in the summer, and that'll depend on what money's going to be made available to him.
Barry, you'll be with us tomorrow night at 5
Yep.
With Mark Guidi. Thank you, Andy. We'll speak to you during the week. You'll
Thanks,
join us
Paul.
then.
Thanks,
so
Barry.
much. And thank you for Chris for looking after us this afternoon. Some great music coming up next. And then we're back tomorrow at 5.
The Go Radio Football Show with MacklinMotors.co.uk. Your local friendly experts for new and used cars.
Let's go! There's a new name for Toyota in Lanarkshire.
From one of the UK's biggest names in motor retail.
Macklin Motors Toyota is now open in Hamilton.
We're bringing you everything Toyota backed by first-class service.
So come and view the stunning new Toyota range, all with up to 10 years warranty.
Including the Igo Cross and the new Yaris Cross compact SUV.
See our great choice of approved used Toyotas.
Our formidable range of commercial vehicles, including the Hilux.
Get expert servicing from our manufacturer-trained technicians.
And specialist advice from our Motability team.
Macklin Motors Toyota is open now.
At Whistlebury Road, Hamilton.